Welcome to SolidWorks 2016 Essential Training. First, I will give you an idea of what I am going to cover in this full course. As this is a essential training, so I will discuss about these core important topics, which is sketch, part, assembly and drawing. If you want to make any part, you have to start with sketch, then you have to convert that into part, then from that you can make a assembly, then from part and assembly you can create a drawing. So how to create basic sketch or intermediate type of sketch, or how to transfer that into the part level. Then inside the part level there are many nice different tools is available, how to work with that. Then how to create the assembly from part. Then inside the assembly, how to control assembly, how to troubleshoot assembly level error. Then how to create a drawing, how to insert basic different type of view inside the drawing. Also how to add annotation, table, etc. Inside this course, there are total 5 different main topics is available: sketch, parts, assembly and drawing. Inside each topics you will find few practice exercise, which is really very important for a beginner user. When you will learn, let's say, about sketch, then this is very important to practice by yourself how to create the sketch, what is the very common mistake you can make. So I will discuss about that, and I will show you 6 practice exercise in sketch level, 5 in part level, 5 in assembly level and 5 in drawing level. Then every topics has few quiz. When you will take this quiz, you will get more confidence when you will pass the quiz. Each quiz has 20 questions, total altogether 80 questions. If you want to follow with me, in that case you can download this exercise file and you can follow with me. There is a very important question: after finishing this course, what you are going to get or what we are going to accomplish. After finishing this course, you can make any basic or intermediate type of sketch, parts and assembly. Also, you'll be able to handle large assembly. You will be able to make drawing very efficiently and quickly. And finally, before we start to learn about this SolidWorks, this is very important question is: what is SolidWorks? SolidWorks is a parametric and feature-based CAD system. It has two terms, one is parametric, then feature-based. Parametric means you can control your part by using parameter, dimension and geometric relation. Inside SolidWorks, you can create any part, assembly and drawing. And by combining these three, you will be able to make any manufacturing drawing or any detailed drawing or any conceptual drawing. Also few other important tasks you can do inside this SolidWorks. This is quite very powerful. Now, if I want to create a part using part file inside SolidWorks, then I have to use some geometric relation, dimension and parameter to make that part. Here, this is a very simple part. If I go inside this sketch, we can see we used few dimension and also few geometric relation to make this sketch, and from that sketch we created this part. Then the next term is feature based system. Now why we are calling this as a feature based? Because if you want, you can go in your past. Let's say I created this part, and if I want to go to the first feature, this is the first feature I made, then I added this feature, and after adding this feature, before I unsuppress all other feature, if I want to create a new hole at this center, I can add that, then I can add all other feature. So that means I can go to past, then I can add any new feature or I can modify any existing feature. So you can see from here like which feature you created first, which one is the second, which one is the third. So you can see from here. So that's the reason we call this software as a parametric and feature based CAD system. In this lesson, I will discuss about SolidWorks file format. Inside SolidWorks, you can work with 3 different files: part, assembly and drawing. If I create a new file, I will see there are 3 different templates here: part, assembly and drawing template. By using these 3, I can create my part, assembly or drawing. So this is part and format is SLD-PRT. If I say at the top, this is the extension for the part .SLD-PRT. Then if I go to one assembly file, its format is .SLD-ASM. And then if I go to inside a drawing file, its format is not showing. So in that case, I can go to File, Save As, .sld drw. So with these three format, you have to work inside the SolidWorks. But if you want to import any different file format, let's say STP file or XT file, in that case you can also import that. If I go to inside the part environment, now if I go to File and Open, let's say I want to open an assembly file. In that case, I have to select this, or if I go to this drop down menu, from here you will see there are many different formats I can import inside SolidWorks. I can import any CATIA version or NX or Inventor file. All major softwares file support inside this SolidWorks, which is really very good. Let's say you work inside Inventor, you can import that Inventor file inside SolidWorks directly. You do not need to convert it in any other file format. But after importing any different file format, you have to work with this part, assembly or drawing format. This is the only three format you can work inside this SolidWorks. In this lesson, I will discuss what is design intent. Let's say this is a simple plate and there is one hole inside it, and I want to put this hole at the middle. This looks like this is at the middle. If I see this is 200 and this is 120, and this whole position is 160. That means this is exactly at the center. Let's say if I try to change the height and width of this plate from 200 to 300 and from 120 to 150. Now we can see this is not exactly at the center. That means this is not how I wanted to design. If I want to keep this hole at the center, in that case I will go inside this case and I will delete this two dimension and I put few geometric relation. Then I will close this. Now if I change from 300 to 180 and 150 to 80, you will see this is always at the center. This is something called design intent. The way I design it, the way it will behave. That is the main power of this parametric CAD system. You can control your design by using parameter, geometric relation and dimension. By using all of this feature, you can get ultimate control on your part. In this lesson, I will give you an idea about SolidWorks user interface, which is really very important as a new user. First, I will launch this SolidWorks 2016. After launching this SolidWorks, then I will create a new file. This is the default interface. If you create any file, you will get this interface. At top left corner, this is called menu bar, and inside this menu bar there are two different categories. You will see this is called quick access toolbar, and if I go to this drop down menu, if I just hover over here, you can see there are a few other options you can see here. This is called toolbar menu. From here, if you want to create any file, you can create file, you can open file, or if you want to create any assembly or drawing from this existing file, or if you want to save, everything you can do from here. Then if you want to access any new file, or if you want to open any file without going inside this, in that case you can also access this quick access toolbar. Then on the right hand side, this is called SolidWorks search. From here you can search few different things which I will discuss in another lesson in detail. Then this section, this is called command manager. Inside this there are few different tabs exist. Each tab has few sets of tools. Let's say you want to create any sketch, you have to work with sketch tab. Let's say you are working with sheet metal, you have to work with sheet metal. Then at the left hand side, this is very important area. This first tab, this is called feature manager, design tree, then property manager, then configuration manager. Few different tab is here. All are really very important because when you will work inside the SolidWorks, this is the important area you have to work with always. So I will discuss this in detail in another lesson. This is graphic area. This is just a 3D space. Inside this 3D space, you have to create your sketch, then you have to create your 3D part, then you have to create your assembly, and also you can create a drawing inside this 3D space. Then just at the top of this graphic window, this is called heads up toolbar. There are some very important tools is available inside this, which is very important. Frequently you have to use this, so that's why they put all these tools inside this very intelligently. Then on the right hand side, this is called task pane. Inside this task pane, there are also few different important options is available, such as appearance, design library, and so on. Then at the bottom, this is called status bar. Inside this, it will give you few meaningful information. Let's say if you work inside the part, at the bottom you can see this is showing editing part. If you work inside the sketch mode, it will show you editing sketch mode. Or if you work inside the assembly mode, it will show you editing assembly mode. Also, it will give you some other useful information. Let's say if I create any sketch. Now this is showing mouse cursor position. You can see here, this is mouse position. Few other important status is also showing here, which I will discuss in the future lesson. Then at the bottom left corner, this model tab is active. Two more tabs is showing here. One is 3D views and another is motion study 1. I will not work with these two because this is fairly advanced. This is not included inside this SolidWorks essential training. In this lesson, I will discuss about title bar, which is this bar. If I hover over in this drop down menu, you will see there are a few different options we can see here. But as soon as I move my cursor to somewhere else and if I press it here, I cannot see that drop down menu. Let's say you want to see this quick access toolbar and this drop down menu both together. In that case, I have to go to here. From here, I can pin this and I can see these two different areas at the same time. This is quick access and this is title bar menu. From this title bar menu, if I want to create any new file, I have to go to file, then new, or I can press Ctrl N. Then if you want to open any existing file, you have to open this from here by using select this. Or if you want to open any recent document, all recent document is showing here. Let's say if I want to open this, I already worked with it. If I select here, it will open this part. Or if I want to see in which directory this part exists, in that case, I have to select this folder icon. Or I can pin this. Let's say if I pin this, you will see this will pin at the top and this will always stay here, but this will change. So this is how you can work with this recent document. Then if I go to view, there are few different view you can see here, but this will change. Let's say if I create a new document, I want to create a part document. And now if I go to file, you will see there are a few more options you can see. Inside the file, if you want to save it, or if you want to save as a new name, or if you want to save all file together, you can do that. And if you want to open recent, you have to go to here, and from here the same thing you can access from here. Then there is a new button called edit. From this edit, there are many different options here. I will show you how to work with this when I will work with actual SolidWorks model or sketch. Then inside this view, you can control your toolbar, you can control your workspace, or you can control your user interface. So everything you can control from here. Then if you want to activate any tools, you can activate from here, from this insert. All tools are available inside this. Then on the right hand side, this is called quick access toolbar. From here, few different things you can do from this quick access toolbar. Let's say you created one part. Now you want to save it. You have to go to this file, then save as or save, which you do not need to do. You can directly save it from here. Or if you want to print it, you can print it from here. Also print preview or page setup option is also here. If you want to rebuild it, you can also rebuild it from here. Then two very important options here. One is file properties, which is custom properties. You can access custom properties from here. You can add any custom properties here. Then this is option. If I go to inside this option, from here you have to control all different settings. This is called system option and this is called document properties. Document properties only will apply inside the drawing, but this system option will apply globally inside this SolidWorks. Then at right hand side, this is called SolidWorks search. This is quite interesting. Let's say you are very new and you don't know where to find the tool. Let's say you know what is the name of the tool, but you don't know how to find it. If I search with fillet, and you can see this is showing here, but this is gray now because there is nothing here, nothing to work with it. So let's say I will search with some other thing. Reference. Let's say I want to search with the reference geometry. If I select it here, it will activate it, and this is that toolbar. But if I want to see where is this option actually exist, in that case I have to search it again. Reference. This time I will not select here, I will select on this glass. If I select on this glass, it will show me automatically where is that option with the big red mark. So this is that reference geometry. From here, toolbox, view toolbar, from here I can activate it. So this is really very helpful for new user if you don't find any tool. But you have to keep in mind, if I go to this drop down menu, you must have to select these commands if you want to find any tool. Let's say if I select SolidWorks help, then if you search with any tool, it will not give you the proper information. Let's say if I write Fillet, then press enter, you can see it is showing SolidWorks well help. Now if I go to this drop down menu again, there are a few different options available. If you want to search any file or model from your local directory, you can select this. If you have account in My SolidWorks, you can search inside this My SolidWorks. Let's say I want to search with extrude and enter. You see this will go to the mysolidworks.com and you have to have an account inside this. Then you can access anything from here. Let's say I search with extrude, all different options regarding this extrude will show here. Then if you want, you can search inside this community forum, or if you are looking for any CAD model, you can search inside it. It will look that CAD model for you. Let's say if I search with washer and press enter, it will look for washer, which is standard size washer inside this 3D Content Central. Then if you want to search for any video from the YouTube, you can also select it. Then you can, let's say if I select extrude, then it will search from this YouTube and you can see it is showing me few different options. If I select it, I will get this from this YouTube. Just beside this search option, there is a question mark. If I go to this drop down menu, you will find SolidWorks help, SolidWorks tutorial. If I select SolidWorks help, it will show me that SolidWorks help file. From here you will find all of the necessary information regarding with a specific tool. You will find that information inside this. Then from here, what's new in SolidWorks 2016, if you want to see that, you can check by using PDF or HTML, or if you want to know about your license information, you can also check your license information from here. In this lesson, I will discuss about command manager, which is this area. Inside this command manager, you will find all necessary tools to create your part or assembly or drawing. In this command manager, there are few different tabs you will find. Each tab carry few sets of tools. Based on that tool, you have to switch from one tab to another tab. Let's say you want to create some sketch, so you have to work inside this sketch. Let's say you want to create some 3D part, you have to go to features. And this tab will be different based on your part file, assembly file or drawing file. Let's say if I create a new drawing file, this time all tab is different. This is different because let's say you want to create the actual 2D drawing file. In that case, the tool you need, that tool you do not need inside this part environment. Inside the part environment, you want to create a 3D part. You do not need to create any 2D thing. That's why this tab is different. Let's say you have to create some organic shape. In that case, you have to work with surface tools. So if I right click on this tab, from here you will see few options are selected, few are not. Which is selected, you will find that tab here. Let's say this features and sketch is selected. That's why you are seeing this feature and sketch. Let's say you want to work with surface. So if I check this, I will get all surface tools inside this tab. Then inside each tab, you will find 3, 4, 5 different groups. You can see there is a small border line here. That means inside these two border, all of this tool you are seeing, this is a group. This is a group. So there are total 4 groups we are seeing here. If I go to this sketch, we will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. They made this group very intelligently. Let's say you want to create a sketch. For this sketch, from here by using this tool, you have to create actual sketch. Then inside this group, you can create any new sketch entity. Let's say line, circle, rectangle, or any different type of shape you can create by using this. Then if you want to modify your sketch, you have to use this group. That's why this is how they group it. It's not like they group it some randomly. They group it really very intelligently, so that when user will work, this will be very easier for them to find proper tool very easily. If I right click anywhere inside this command manager, I will see there is one option, use large button with text. If I unselect this, all text are gone. You cannot see any text, only you can see tool icons. This is good because you can maximize your graphic window. Sometimes it is helpful, but if you are completely new to the SolidWorks, I will recommend you to check this box so that when you will work with any tool, at least you will know this is the name of that tool. Then after 1 year or 2 years, when you are very frequent in SolidWorks, very confident to work in SolidWorks, that time you can uncheck this. But at the starting point, I will say check this. If you don't find any tool inside this command manager, go to this drop down menu, select commands. From here, let's say if I write convert entities, this is the tool I can see here, but this is gray now, I cannot work with it. If I go to this sketch, I will see this is that convert entities is showing. I cannot work with this because if you want to apply this convert entities, you need at least some sketch or body. So this is how you can search for your necessary tool. Let's say I am searching for line. So if I write line here, this is my line. If I press here, this glass icon, it will show me where is that line tool. It will go to inside this sketch tab, then from here it will show me this is that line tool is showing. So this is how you can find your necessary tool from here. In this lesson, I will show you how to modify command manager or how to edit command manager. If you want to edit this command manager, right click here. From here you have to go to customize. Before I go to customize, this is important for you to know what I'm going to edit. I can add any new tab, I can add any existing tab, or I can create a completely empty tab, and inside that empty tab I can put all necessary tool inside the tab. So if I right click here, go to customize, from here you will see all available tab is showing inside this. But this tab will be different based on your file. I am inside this part file, that's why this is showing all of this. If I am inside the assembly, this will be different. Now I will customize this. To customize it, I do not need to work with it here. If I go to here, you will see at the end it is showing new tab. If you want to create any new tab, you have to click here. If I click here, now it is showing me empty tab, or if I want to add any existing tool list inside this new tab, I can select it. Let's say I want to add this curves toolbar inside this new tab. So I will select it, and you can see this curve tab added here and all necessary curve inside this. If I right click on this tab, this is better if I move it to here so you can see it. If I right click on this curves and add to tab, from here you can add more. Let's say if I want to add fastening features, it added one more tab here. I will right click here. If I want to delete it, I can delete it here. I will delete it. Let's say for fastening feature, if I right click on this tab, from here if I want to rename this, I can rename it. If I want to copy this tab in assembly environment or in drawing environment, I can do also from here. For now, I will delete it. Now I will create a new tab, but I will create a new empty tab. I will select on this new tab, then select empty tab, and this is that empty tab. For this new tab, I have to put some new name, custom, and inside this there is nothing. Sometimes this is better to create a new tab. Let's say for your design there are 3-4 tools you have to work with most frequently, or 10 tool which is really very important tool to work. In that case you can combine all this together. So inside this I have to bring all necessary tool one by one. So I will go to commands. From here I will go to, let's say I have to work with sheet metal. So if I go to sheet metal, from here Let's say I have to work with base flange frequently, then S flange very frequently. Then I will go to features, from here extrude, then hole wizard, then fillet. So all of this tool I have to use frequently. So that's why I put everything inside this. So this is how you can create your tab. So I will press close and you can see this is always here. If you want to uncheck this, if I right click here, if I want to deactivate this custom, I will unselect it and I will not see it again. If you want to activate it again, right click, select custom. Now you can see inside this custom everything is showing here. Let's say if I want to make a group inside this, I can also do that. Right click, customize. Then here there is nothing to do here. I have to make a group from here. Let's say I want to make these two as a group and these three as a group. So I will right click on this and I will select begin a group. So it will create a border between these two. So that means this is separating between these two groups. So now I will assume this is as a group, this is as a group. Let's say I want to make this fillet as a separate group. I will right click here, begin a group. Now you can see there are three different groups. I will press OK. Now you can see there are three different groups. So this is how you can activate your tab, deactivate your tab. Also, if you want to bring any new tab which you can create, and also you can create your group from here. Also you can edit it, delete it anytime. In this lesson, I will discuss feature manager tree and few other manager which is available inside this. The first tab is called feature manager design tree. Most of the time you have to work inside this. Then this is called property manager, configuration manager, dim expert manager, display manager. There are a few different tabs we can see here. Now most of the time you have to work with inside this and property manager. This is the two area you have to work with frequently. This environment is almost same inside part, assembly and drawing. Inside the part we can see there are total 5 different tabs is available, which is feature manager design tree, first one, then property, configuration, dim expert, and then display manager. All are same in the assembly level also. Let's check inside the drawing file. Inside the drawing file, first one is okay, feature manager design tree, second is also fine, property manager. But if SolidWorks inspection is installed inside your computer, in that case it will show you here, otherwise it will not show anything here. So here in this case this is a little bit different inside the drawing environment. So let's go to SolidWorks part environment. Now inside this part environment, inside this feature manager design tree, first option you can see here, this is part icon, that means this is part file. And from the top you can see .sldprt, that means this is part file. So for part file you will see this is the icon it will show, that means I am inside the part file. Inside the part there are few different folder we can see, from here history to here all are folder. Then we can see few different reference, front, top, right and origin. There are 4 reference we can see here. First 3 are plane reference, last one is origin reference, that means just a point. Each folder carries some important information. If your model has any equation, it will show it here inside this. If it has some annotation, it will show inside this. Sensor folder is showing but nothing inside this sensor folder. So in that case, if you want, you can hide it. You can control all of this show and hide for this folder. You can control this from this option, system options, feature manager. From here you can see hide or show tree item. So for this feature manager tree you can hide, show, or you can put automatic. And if I go to this any drop down menu, I will see automatic, hide or show. Let's say for sensor it is saying show, that means every time if you create a part it will show you that folder, and even if this folder is empty it will show you here. Let's say if there is nothing inside the folder, I don't want to see. In that case I have to put automatic, not show. If I select automatic, it will hide because there is nothing inside that sensor folder. But if I create any sensor, as soon as I create the sensor, it will show you here. Then the next option is showing material. Whatever material you are using, you have to assign it here for this specific part. Then this for reference, from top to this origin, this is default for any different type of new part. You cannot delete this front, top, right. If I right click, if I want to delete it, I can delete it. If I want to delete it, if I right click on this front, if I want to delete it, I cannot delete it. I can hide it. If I select show, it will show me, and if I want to hide it, I can hide it. So this is default, you cannot delete it. Then it will start, your work will start from here. So let's say if I create a new file, for the new file you can see it is showing just only 2 folder, this material, this for reference. Now if I create anything, it will listed just after this origin. So it will start just after the origin. So any tool I use to make my part, it will start just after the origin. Then this property manager, I will not discuss this all of these options. This will be harder for you to understand. When I will work step by step, you will learn what is the difference between property manager, configuration manager, and all other different tabs. But I want to discuss little bit inside the SolidWorks assembly environment. In the assembly environment, you can see this was part last time, and now this is showing assembly icon. That means this is the assembly. But in the assembly, this folder is same like part, all references are same, but from here, this is not any tool. This is a specific part. This is one part, this is one part, this is one part. When I will work inside the assembly environment, I will discuss more about this feature manager tree. In this lesson, I will discuss about heads up toolbar. Inside this heads up toolbar, you will find all tools which is common view manipulation tools. Let's say if you want to zoom in, you can use this tool, or if you want to make a cross section from this assembly, I can use this tool. There are a few different options here which I will discuss later. Also, if you want to hide or show anything from this drop down menu, you can do it. Let's say you want to show all view origin for all specific part and also for this assembly. In that case, you have to select it. It will show you that. Then if you want to activate any temporary axis or permanent axis, you can also do that, which is you can see here. So this is just a toggle button. By using this, you can hide and show very quickly. Then if you want to change your display style, you can also do that quickly from here. Let's say if I want to change like this way, or if I want to change like this wireframe, I can also do that quickly. Then also you can change your appearance or scene, also view setting you can change from here. In this lesson, I will discuss about task pane. You will get that task pane in this area. This is called task pane. You don't need to open any part, assembly or drawing file to get this task pane. This is by default when you will open the SolidWorks for the first time, or anytime if you open SolidWorks, it will show you at the right corner. Now if this does not show here, then you have to go to file. From here you have to make sure this task pane is selected, then it will show here. Now I will go to this SolidWorks resource. I will select it, this tab. I will pin this to make sure this will stay here. Otherwise, if I select somewhere here, this will collapse. So in that case, I can pin this. So first one is SolidWorks resource. Inside this, you will find some general information. First group, inside this you will see getting started. You will get some idea about SolidWorks, like how to create new file, or if you want to open any file, you can do from here. This too is the same option like this. Then some free tutorial, online tutorial you will find here. Then there are few SolidWorks tools is available by which you can create custom property, which is property tab builder. Then community. Inside this you can access customer portal or discuss forum. You can get few technical alert or news from here. Then some online resource. Also, you will find subscription service option here. You can access your subscription service in SolidWorks. The next tab is, which is really very important, design library. Library means which part or anything you want to reuse. You can reuse any routing part from here, or if you want to reuse your any hardware related thing, as for example nut, bolt, washer, something like that. In that case, you have to use this toolbox. You can set up your own toolbox if you want. This is highly customizable. Also, if you want to access 3D Content Central, you can also do that from here. If you want to create a new library, you can also do that by using this option. But now I will create a new file location. Now, why I am creating this new file location? I am creating this new file location to access exercise file very easily. You have to download exercise file, then you have to link that exercise file here. So this is my exercise file. I will select it, then press OK, and you can see this file folder location will show here. Now if I expand it, you will see all folder is showing here. If I select this exercise file, I can see here. So if I go to inside this 03, from here you can see there are a few files showing here. If I right click, I can select list large icon. I can also show like this way. Let's say I want to open this 31. So I will just drag and drop inside this graphic window and it will open assembly very quickly. So I do not need to go to folder and then from there I do not need to open it. I can do it from here. I just set up it. You can just follow with me. This is very quick. Let's say when I am working with 10, I will go to inside this. I just have to drag and drop here. This is very quick. So in the design library, if you want, you can also add different folder location here also. Then the next one is File Explorer. If you want to search any file in your local directory, you can also search here. Or if you want to search any file which is already open inside the SolidWorks, so you have to go to inside this option. These three parts are open and one assembly is open, but one assembly is highlighted because this is active, but this is open but in the background. Then I will go to View Palette. You cannot access this View Palette. I will discuss about this View Palette when I will create 2D drawing. So you need this in 2D drawing. When you will create any different view, you need this View Palette. By using View Palette, you can create your view very quickly. Then the next option is Appearance, Scenes and Decal. By using this, you can very quickly add appearance, scenes and decal for your part or assembly. Then the next option is Custom Property. If you want to add any custom property, you can add from here. By using Property tab builder, you have to create a form. By using that form, you have to add custom property. The last one is SolidWorks Forum. If you want to access SolidWorks Forum, in that case, you have to search from here. This is very important option, this task pane. So I will say always keep this open to the right side. You can always open by using this view user interface. From here you can keep checked this task pane. In this lesson I will show you how to activate context sensitive shortcut menu and what you are going to get inside that shortcut menu. If you want to activate it, you have to right click in any area inside this graphic window, and this is the context sensitive shortcut menu. And top of it you can see very small tiny toolbar. This is called context toolbar. This context toolbar contains some of the most commonly used commands in icon form. This context sensitive shortcut menu will be different based on your selection. Let's say if I select this as and right click here, you will see this is different. If I select on surface, if I select it, you will see this is different. If I select anywhere in the blank graphic window, right click here, you will see this is different. So this is completely depend on which object you are selecting. Based on that object, this context sensitive shortcut menu will change. Also this menu will depend on part, assembly or drawing file. Let's say if I go to assembly file, now if I right click on this, you will see this is different. If I right click here, most of the option is similar with part, but there are some additional option is showing here. So that's why if you change from part to assembly, your context sensitive shortcut menu will change. as well as your context toolbar will change. If I right click here, you will see at the top this toolbar also different. In this lesson, I will show you how to pan, zoom and rotate for your model. This is very important to learn before you start to create any sketch or part. Otherwise, you will not be able to handle your part inside this graphic window. Let's say you want to zoom in or zoom out. This is very easy in SolidWorks. Just scroll down or scroll up in your mouse. So if I scroll down, in that case this is going away, but if I scroll up, that means I am pulling. So this is how you can zoom in or zoom out, but your mouse cursor position is very important. Let's say my mouse cursor position is here. Now if I zoom out, you will see this is going away. That's fine. But now if I zoom in, if I scroll up, you will see this model will go away from this window. So that's why where is your mouse, that is very important. Let's say if I want to zoom in this area, so if I hover on this point, now if I zoom in by scrolling up and move my cursor somewhere here, and you will see this will zoom this area because my mouse cursor was on this point. So where is your mouse cursor position, that is important for scrolling up or down. If you want to zoom any area, in that case you have to right click here. From here you can activate this zoom to area. The same option you will find inside this heads up toolbar. If I select it, now let's say I want to zoom this area, and this will directly zoom in this area. So in that case you do not need to scroll down or scroll up. As a beginner user, you will find one problem. Let's say you are trying to zoom in or zoom out and your model is going away from this graphic window, and this is hard for you to bring that model inside this graphic window. The best option is if I press F key in my keyboard, this will come inside my graphic window. Let's say this is very small, I cannot see, I don't understand where is my model. In that case you can also press here, which is same option, zoom to fit. So this will fit my model. But best option is, let's say this is going away from the graphic window. Now I will double click anywhere in the graphic window by middle mouse button, and it will fit inside this graphic window. Now I will show you how to rotate it. If you want to rotate it, it's very easy. Just press and hold middle mouse button in your mouse, then rotate by moving your mouse. So this is how you can rotate it. You can also activate rotate tool by pressing right mouse button key, and from here you can also activate this rotate view. Then now I will show you how to pan it. I will select this pan, and now if I want to pan it, I can pan it. I will press escape key to cancel my pan. Now if you want to pan it, there is another shortcut is available. I will press and hold Ctrl key. Also at the same time I have to press my middle mouse button, then if I move it, I can pan it. This is shortcut. Normally this is the quickest way to pan your model. One more important thing I will mention about rotation. Let's say I want to rotate this part based on this line. You can do that. You have to press one time your middle mouse button after hovering over this line. Let's say when I will hover on this line, next to the cursor we can see there is one line. So I just have to press one time middle mouse button, and you can see this is showing rotational icon, but this is slightly different. Inside the rotational icon there is one dotted line. This means this model will not rotate based on any random line or point. I just locked down this line, so now this part will rotate based on this line. So now if I want to rotate it, I just have to press and hold middle mouse button again. Now when I will rotate it, you can see this is rotating based on that line. I am doing it again. Now I will select this line, press one time. Now this is activate. Now press and hold middle mouse button again. You can do same thing for any point also. Let's say you want to rotate based on any point. So if I select this point, next to the cursor it is showing points. So now I have to press middle mouse button one time, and this is active now. Now if I try to rotate it, it will rotate based on that point. This point is not moving, everything else is moving. In this lesson, I will show you how to orient view. You can orient your view from few different locations. Let's say I want to see from front view. In that case, I have to go to this heads up toolbar. From here, if I go to this drop down menu of this view orientation, here you will see there are few different standard views showing: front, right, left, top, bottom, and back. And all different view has its own shortcut. Let's say if I want to select this front view, I can select it from here. This is showing me the front view. But if I go here again, let's say I want to see from right side. Next to the right side, inside the bracket, it is showing Ctrl+4. So if I press Ctrl and 4, you see this is orienting to the right side. If I press Ctrl+1, this is front. This is one way to orient your view. There are few other different options available which I will discuss by using another tool. Let's say I want to see from isometric. I have to go to here, then I have to select it from this drop down menu. This is isometric. But exact same all of this option you will find if you press space bar in your keyboard. Now this orientation toolbar will open, and inside this all of the option you are seeing here, this is exactly same option here. So this is gone. I have to bring it back again. So I will press space again in my keyboard and make sure this pin is checked. Otherwise, if you select anywhere inside the graphic window, this will disappear. Now if I want to orient to top, bottom, left, right, any different standard view I can orient to. Then at the right hand side from this drop down menu, you will see isometric, dimetric and trimetric. You can also choose from here. If I select isometric, this is isometric, then I can choose dimetric, also trimetric. If you want to split your window into two parts, in that case you can use this. Let's say if I select it, it will split this graphic window into two parts. So I will select it. These two are same part, but let's say I want to see from front when I will change this part. So that time this is helpful. If I want to see from vertically, if I select it, this will split this graphic window vertically. If you want to split into four parts, if I select it, you can see top, front, left and trimetric. This is first angle. If you want to show your model in third angle, you have to change it from these options. Display selection, you have to go to bottom. Here you will find this is first angle. If I change this to third angle, now I will select this again, one window, then I will go to four window again. Now you can see front, right, top, trimetric. So now this is third angle. Most of the designer they use third angle, so that's why I showed you how to change from first angle to third angle, because inside the SolidWorks first angle is always default. I will go to one window again. This time at the top right corner you can see there is one option called view selector. This is quite powerful. If I select it, now you can see this model from any angle. You just have to specify any side. You can select any side from here. Let's say I want to see from this side. I just hover over here, and here you can see this is the preview it is showing. You can see from any side the preview. Let's say I want to see from this side, so I will select it, and this is that view. I will go back again. This time let's say I want to see from top, so that I can select it, but this time I don't want to select from top, I want to select from back. I want to select this back angle. How do I select that? Because if I try to select it, it will select this top surface. In that case, you have to press and hold Alt key in your keyboard. Now you can select the back side. So let's say if I select this back angle, I can see from the back side. In this lesson, I will show you how to work with mouse cursor. This is very nice tool. This is optional tool. You do not need to use it. But if you use this tool from the beginning, you will save lots of time. So definitely I will recommend you to use this. If you want to activate mouse gesture, press and hold your right mouse button, then you can move it to right, left or anywhere. So let's say if I move it to right little bit, you will see this will activate mouse gesture. And now I do not need to click second time anything. I just have to move my cursor to the right. If I move my cursor to the right, it will show me this model from right side. So if I move my cursor to the right side, you can see this is my right side view, and I just release my mouse. So there are two different advantages. First advantage is you just have to click one time. Second advantage is your cursor does not need to travel too much. So if I want to see from top view, press and hold right mouse button, then move it to top, and you can see this is my top view. But inside the mouse gesture, there are total 4 buttons. If you want, you can add maximum 8 buttons. If you want to add that, you have to customize this. I will right click here. I can go to customize from here, or I can go to this drop down menu. From here I can select customize. From here I will go to mouse gestures. Right side, this is 4, this is 8. I will select 8 and then press OK. This time you will see you can get more tools. So if I press and hold my right mouse button, now I can see total 8 buttons is showing. Right, top, left, bottom, front and back. So all of this tool, this is very important tool to use frequently. So if I cross this, I don't need this. In that case, I can just orient very quickly, and this is very fast. Let's say you are using one tool in your SolidWorks very frequently. In that case, you can add that tool inside the mouse gesture. So I will show you how to add that. Normally inside this evaluate, you have to work with this measure tool frequently. So I will add that measure tool inside mouse gesture. So I'll go to option, customize. From here I will go to mouse gesture. First I have to search for that tool. So I will write measure. This is my tool. For this tool, in the part level, I will select it. For this bottom right option, I will select this. Also in the assembly level, I want to assign this. For the drawing and sketch, maybe I will assign something else, but for part and assembly, I need this. So I will press OK. Now if I press and hold my right mouse button, in that case you can see right bottom corner, this is that measure tool. So this is very fast. You do not need to go here then click here. So I will highly recommend you to use this. This will save you lots of time. In this lesson, I will show you how to show or hide any sketch entity or any plane or any axis, and there are lots of other things you can show and hide, so which I will show you in this lesson. So let's say I want to show this front, top and right all together. So I'll right click here and go to show. Now from here I can see front, right and top is showing here. Let's say your assembly has more than 100 plane or more than 10 plane which you don't want to show. If you want to hide everything together, there is a one tool. If I go to this drop down menu from this heads up toolbar, which is hide or show items, from here this first option is selected. All of this option you are seeing, this is toggle button. So this is just like a switch on and off. So right now this is on, that's why this is selected. If I turn off this, now you cannot see anything. Even if I right click here, I can see this is showing hide. That means right now this is showing everything. So all three view I put under show. If I change this to show again, now you can see it. Also I can control it individually from here. Let's say if I go to inside this part has one axis. If I select this axis, we can see it has one axis. But if I select any outside area, you cannot see that axis. This is happening because of this. If I go to this drop down menu of this hide or show items, from here you can see this is turned off. View axis is turned off. If I select it again, now you can see that axis. So this is how you can turn off or turn on. There are many different things you can turn on or turn off And there is one tool which is really very important, which is view sketch relation. Let's say if I go inside one sketch, I will go to this assembly level, then I will open this part. Now I will edit one sketch. Inside this sketch, all of this green you are seeing here, this is called geometric relation, which I will discuss later. You do not need to understand too much at this stage. When you will create a very busy sketch, number of this green icon will increase drastically. In that case, you have to hide it. You can hide it very quickly. If you go to this drop down menu, from here this is showing view sketch relation. If I uncheck this, it will not show you again. And another tool by which you can hide everything together. If I go to view, hide or show, from here the first option, hide all types. If I select hide all types, it will hide everything. So if I select it, now let's say if I show this front, I cannot see the front. Let's say if I try to activate anything here, everything is gray because here this option is selected. When this option is selected, you cannot toggle on or toggle off. I will turn off this option, then I will go back to the assembly level. Before I go back to the assembly level, let's say I will turn on this sketch, then I will go back to the assembly level. In the assembly level, everything is fine, but I can see one sketch. This sketch came from part level. If I want to hide it, there is one option is here. I will go to drop down menu. From here, this sketch is turned on, view sketches. If I turn off this, you cannot see this. So there are many different options available. You have to play with it. Most frequently, you have to work with plane, view origin, temporary axis, and view axis. These two. Then at the middle, view sketch dimension. This is also important. You have to work with frequently. View sketches, also sketch relations. These are the very common option you have to work with frequently. In this lesson, I will show you how to create section view, which is very important. When you will create a 3D part temporarily, you may have to see what is inside that part, or temporarily if you want to cut a section, in that case you have to use section view. So you can activate that section view from this SolidWorks MBD. From here, if you don't see this, right click on this tab, anywhere on this tab, and from here you can activate it. This is one way to activate your section view tool, or there is another way. You can activate it from this heads up toolbar from here. So first I will activate it, and it has so many different options showing. I will collapse everything. I will work with section 1. Inside this, you can see there are 3 different options. First one is front, then top, then right. So if I select front, it will make a section based on that front plane. If I put top, it will make a section view based on top plane. If I select right, it will make a section based on right plane. And also you can see there are a few half circle, and this arrow is showing. You can drag this. Let's say if I drag this arrow, I can move my section. So right now this is 0. If I put 0, that means I am cutting this section exactly on this right plane. But let's say if I put 1 inch, that means this section is offset from this right plane, which is 1 inch. Or if you want, you can drag to anywhere. Also, if you want, you can rotate it. So by using this, you can make very complex type of section view. This is just cutting this part temporarily. This is not the actual cutting of the part. If I select it again, it will deactivate this section view. So I will select it again. Now we can see this full part again. I will go inside this again. If I want to reset it, I just have to click anywhere in this option. Let's say if I click this top plane, then if I select this right plane again, then you can see everything is reset now. You can change angle also from here. The same angle you change it from here. This is the exact same thing. Now let's say you want to make a section view, but you want to cut just only this piece, not all other piece. In that case, you have to select selected components. I have to select it. Now I will select this component. But this time at the bottom, I have to select include selected, not exclude. So this will reverse everything. So when you will make this section view, it will just affect only on this part because this is the only part I selected. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a file, save a file, and how to open an existing file. To create the file, you can go to File, then New, or from here directly you can create a new file. Or if I press Ctrl N in my keyboard, it will open this window to create my file. In SolidWorks, you can create three different type of file: part, assembly, and drawing. If I want to create a part file, I have to select this. Or if I want to create an assembly file, I have to select this, or for drawing, this file. For now, I want to create a part file, so I will select a part file and then press OK. This is my new part file. Inside this, I have to create my part. Then I have to save this file. To save it, I can select this icon, or I can go to File, Save As, or I can press Ctrl S to save it. Now I will go to number 5 folder. Inside this, I want to save it. I will save it. Now I will close it. Now if I go to File, you will see at the top in the recent document it is showing save.sld.prt, which is part file. If you want to know the location, you can select it here. Let's say I want to open some existing file, so I will go to Open from here or from here. I will go to 04 folder. Inside this, we can see we have two part file, one assembly file .sldasm, that means this is assembly file. I will select this and it is showing me the preview on the right hand side. If you want to see this, you have to select this, then it will show you the preview. Now I can open it. It will open that assembly file inside SolidWorks. This is one way to open the file. I will go to Open again. This time I will open it, but at the bottom you can see Quick Filter, Part, Assembly, Drawing, and Top Level Assembly. Let's say in your directory you have 50 part and 10 assembly. If you want to see just only parts, not assembly or drawing or any other file, you have to select this first option, Filter Parts. If I select it, it will show me only parts. If I select assembly and part both together, it will show me part and assembly only, not any other file. Let's say inside it there are some imported part I want to open in SolidWorks, let's say STP format. In that case, I will go to this drop down menu. From here I will select all files. Then if you have any STP format or any Parasolid format or any other file type, it will show you here. Let's say I want to open a drawing file. If I select it, I can see there is nothing, no drawing file inside it. Last one is top level assembly. Let's say you have one assembly and two sub-assembly. So if I select it, that time it will show me total 3 assembly file here. But if I select only this option, first I have to uncheck this, then I will select only this option. In that case, it will not show you any sub-assembly file. It will always show you top level assembly file. So I will select this assembly, then press open. If I want to close the file, I can cross this here, or if I press Ctrl W in my keyboard, I can also close this, or File, then I will press close. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a sketch. You can create a sketch inside part file. So first I have to take a part file. I will go to File, then New. I will select part template, then OK. This will create a part file. Inside this part file, I have to create my sketch, and from that sketch, you can turn this into a 3D part. If I see at the bottom right corner, this is showing this is editing part. That means right now I am in editing part mode. If I want to create a sketch, inside this sketch tab, I have to activate my sketch by selecting this tool, which is called sketch. So I will select this sketch. As soon as I select it, this is asking me on which plane I want to create my sketch. I will select front plane, then this front plane is oriented to normal. Then at the right top corner we can see there is one new icon is showing. This icon means I am inside the sketch editing mode. Also, if I see from the status bar, this is showing editing sketch. Before it was editing part mode. That means I am inside this sketch mode and now I can create my sketch. I will create a simple line. After finishing my sketch, if I want to close it, I have to press here to close this. Then inside this feature manager design tree, we can see one sketch is added. If I want to delete this sketch, I will right click here, then I can delete it. Now I will create the sketch, but I will not use this option. I can do it differently. If I select front plane, right click here, because I want to create a sketch on front plane. Then at the top, inside this small toolbar, I can see this tool is showing here, which is exactly same tool. So after right clicking here, I can select this sketch and I am now inside this front plane. Now I will create a line. After creating this line, let's say I will create few line here. After creating all of this line, let's say I am thinking I don't need this sketch. In that case, rather saving this sketch, I can select this option which is cross. So if I press cross, this will ask, do you want to discard this change? Yes, and exit. And you can see there is no sketch is added. Now I will create sketch again on this top plane right now, and this is oriented to normal. I will create few line here, then I will close it by pressing this icon, or if I want I can press this icon. This will close my sketch. Let's say I want to edit my sketch. If I want to edit my sketch, now I am not inside the sketch mode. You can see this is editing part mode. I have to right click on this sketch. From here, this is a new icon which is edit sketch, not this icon. So I will select this edit sketch icon, and now I am inside this editing sketch mode, but this is not oriented to normal. So in that case, if I want to orient it, I have to press this icon, and if you want to bring this toolbar, you can do it by pressing spacebar, and you can pin it to right corner. Then by using this option normal to, you can make it normal. Now I want to edit few things. Let's say I want to add one more circle, also few more line. After editing this, I am thinking to discard all changes. I don't want to keep this circle or other line which I just did. So in that case, I will not save this. So I will not press this icon. I will press this cross. It will discard the change and exit. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a line inside the sketch. First, I will take a sketch on this front plane. I have to activate my line tool first. To activate it, I can get that line tool inside this sketch tab from here, or if I go to tools, sketch entities, from here I can activate it, or if I press S key in my keyboard, I can also activate my line tool from here. Also, the best option is if you use mouse gesture. In that case, you can get the line tool here. My line tool is active now. Now I can make any line here. To create the line, you just have to pick 2 points. I will pick first point, and then as soon as I pick my second point, this is my line. After creating this line, if I want, I can create few other line. So if I take few other points, I can create multi-line at the same time. After creating my line, if I want to deactivate this line tool, I just have to press here. It will deactivate this line. I will activate my line tool again by pressing this line tool. This time I will create my line, and if I want to deactivate it, there is another popular option is available. If I press escape key in my keyboard, it will deactivate the line. There is another nice way to deactivate the line tool. Let's say I will create my line. Then if I right click here and select it, it will deactivate my line tool. If you want to active your line tool after making few line, let's say I will make this 3 line, And now I don't want to deactivate it. I want to keep active, but I want to finish this line. In that case, if I press right click and press end chain, then it is still active, but this will end this line. I will create 2 more lines again. Now to end this line, I will double click left mouse button and it will finish my line, but this is still active. Now let's say I want to make a horizontal line. In that case, I can select this horizontal option inside this orientation. Then I will select my first point, and if I want to move anywhere, you will see always this is horizontal. Now I will create another line which is also horizontal. When I am done, I have to press OK. Now I want to make another line which is vertical, so I will press this option. Then you can see this is always vertical. When I am done, I will press OK. Now I will show you how to create just only one line segment. I will activate this. I will press and hold my left mouse button and my first point is defined. Now I have to specify my second point. To specify my second point, I just have to release my mouse to the specific point. Let's say I will release my mouse somewhere here. As soon as I release it, you can see this is just a one line segment. There is no continuation of this line. So this is how you can create one line segment, and this is still active. So at the same time, you don't need to activate again and again. If I want to create another one line segment, press and hold left mouse button, then release to the another point. So this is how you can create single line segment. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a center line, midpoint line, and infinity line. First, I will work with construction line, which is center line. If I want to create the center line, I have to go to drop down menu of this line tool. The second option is center line. To create the center line, I will activate it. I have to select my plane. To create my sketch, I will select front plane. I am inside this sketch. Now I have to create center line. Creating center line and line exactly same thing. Only difference is that is solid line and this is center line. So I will select my first point, then second point, and you can see this line is created. If I want to create a center line by using line tool, I can do that. I will activate my line tool. Then I will create this line. Then if I want, I can convert this to center line. I have to select this line, and here we can see this option is construction geometry. I can select it, or if I select it here inside this property manager, here is the option for construction. If I select it, it will convert to the construction geometry. Now you have to keep in mind, I converted this line to a construction geometry, and if I create a center line with exact same length, you can see both are same, but if I see closely, you will see this line length is different. The only difference is this is center line and this is construction line. That's why this is different. This length is different. So if you want to make a center line specifically, in that case you have to use this option. Otherwise, if you want to make a solid line, then convert it to the construction geometry, you can do also by this way. Now I will create midpoint line. To create that, first I have to activate it. From this drop down menu of this line tool, I will select midpoint line. Then I have to select midpoint first, then I have to select endpoint. But if I want to create a normal line, I have to select first point and second point. So this is the main difference between this main solid line and midpoint line. For this normal line, I have to select first point, last point. For midpoint line, I have to start from the middle, but both lengths are same. If you want, you can also create your midpoint line by using this normal line tool. If I select it, at the bottom inside this option, you can see there is one option called midpoint line. If I select it, now I can start from center, then I have to specify my endpoint. Now I will show you how to create infinity line. To create the infinity line, I have to activate my line tool. Then from here there is one option, I can select it, infinity line. Then I just have to mention this point and the direction. Let's say if I specify this direction and if I zoom out, you will see this is infinity line. Also, let's say you have a existing line here and you want to convert this line as an infinity line. You can do that. If I select it, then let's say I want to convert it to construction line. Also, I want to make it as an infinity line. Now if I zoom out, you can see this is completely infinity line. In this lesson, I will show you how does selection method works inside the sketch. First, I will take a exercise file from exercise folder. I will right click on this sketch and select edit sketch to go inside this sketch. My sketch mode is active now. From this icon we can see here. Let's say I want to select all of this sketch together. In that case, I can press and hold my left mouse button and move from left to right. But before I select anything, there is one thing you have to know. If I move from left to right, we can see this is showing blue color. But if I go from right to left, this is showing green color. That means this means something. There are some difference between these two. If I zoom in this area, now if I press and hold my left mouse button and move from left to right, everything fall within this box completely will be selected. So this is the only line fall within this box completely. So it will select only this line. So I will release my mouse now and you can see this will select just only one line. But if I move from right to left, everything fall completely and partially will be selected. In this case, it will select this line and this line because this line will fall partially and this line will fall fully. So I will release my mouse now and here you can see there are two lines which is highlighted. This two line is selected. Also from selected entities inside this properties manager we can see this two line is selected. If you want to select any entity one by one, in that case you can also do that. You have to press and hold Ctrl key in your keyboard and select one by one. There are two different selection methods available inside this sketch mode. One is box selection, another is lasso selection. If I right click, I will see at the top one is box selection, then lasso selection. By default, box selection always active, but if I select lasso selection is for complex selection. Let's say I want to select just only this line. If I want to select that, now I have to press left mouse button and this way I can select it. For lasso selection also, there are two different colors. One is blue, another is green. Green means anti-clockwise, blue means clockwise. So let's say I started from selection from this point. Now if I go clockwise, this will be blue. So in this case, if I go clockwise, this is selecting just only one entity. But if I go anti-clockwise, anything fall completely or partial inside this selection area will be selected. So it will select these two lines. Normally by default box selection is active and most of the time 98% time you have to work with box selection. Lasso selection is for very specific selection, somewhere where your sketch is really very busy, it's really hard to select. In that case you can use this lasso selection. In this lesson I will show you how to create a rectangle inside the sketch. First I will take a sketch on front plane. To activate the rectangle tool, I can press S key in my keyboard and from here I can get my rectangle tool, or from here inside this sketch tab I can get rectangle tool from here, or if I go to tools, sketch entities, rectangle. I will activate my rectangle here. Before I activate it, if I go to this drop down menu, I will say there are total 5 different rectangles available. I will start from top one, which is corner rectangle. After activating this rectangle tool inside this properties manager, we can see there are total 5 categories. First category is selected. If you want to create this rectangle, you have to specify 2 points, first point and second point. So I will select any 2 point, first point, then another corner, and this is my rectangle. I can select any 2 corner. Let's say if I start from top left and bottom right, I can also create that. The next type is center rectangle, which is this category. If I select it, I have to start from center, then I have to specify my corner. So I will select my center, then I have to specify my corner. For this, there are 2 different options available: from corner, from midpoint. By default, from corner. From corner means this is adding construction line from corner to corner. If I want to add this construction line from this midpoint to this midpoint and this midpoint to this midpoint, I have to use this option. Now I will select my center and I have to specify my corner, and you can see this is adding construction line from midpoint to midpoint, not from corner to corner. This is the main difference between these two options. The next type is 3-point corner rectangle. To make this rectangle, I have to specify my 3 point, 1, 2, 3. So first point, second point, and third point. For this type of rectangle, I can specify my angle. For this type of rectangle, I cannot. I just have to put 2 point, and this is always vertical and horizontal. But this is angle. So this is the main flexibility. If you want to create a 3-point corner rectangle, first point, then I can specify my corner. Then I have to define my width. The next type is 3-point center rectangle. This is exactly same. You can make a rectangle with angle, but this time I have to start from center. So I will select center, then I have to specify my corner, then I have to specify my width, and this is that rectangle. In this case, I can specify from corner or from midpoint. For this midpoint, this will be like this. The last one is parallelogram. I can define first 2 lines, then I can change the angle for this line. So this is highly customizable, this rectangle. Also for this kind of rectangle, you can also add construction line. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a circle inside a sketch. I will take a new sketch inside this front plane. Now I will activate my circle tool from this sketch tab from here, or if I press S key in my keyboard, I can also access from here. So first I will go to drop down menu of this circle tool, and then I can see there are 2 different types of circle is available. I will select first type. For this first type, there are 2 points. I have to define center and radius. So I will select my center, then I have to define my radius, and this is the circle. It's really very easy to create. Now I will create another circle. I will go to second type, which is perimeter circle. To create this circle, I have to define 3 points. I will define first point, second point, and third point, and this is the circle. Let's say I have 3 lines here. By using 3 lines, I can create my circle. So I will activate this perimeter circle. I have to select this 3 lines because based on this 3 lines, I want to create a circle. First line, second line, and as soon as I select my third line, this circle will create based on these 3 lines. Then if you want to make this circle as a construction geometry, this circle is selected right now. I will select this option to make this circle construction. In this lesson, I will show you how to create arc. First, I will go inside this front plane, create a new sketch. Inside this sketch, I will create the arc. I will go to inside this sketch tab. From here, I can activate it, or I can press S key in my keyboard. From here I can create the arc, and first I will go to this drop down menu to check how many different type of arc is available. First one is center point arc. I will select it, and from here we can see there are 3 points I have to define. First point has to be the center of the arc. So I will define my first point, then I have to define my starting point, then I have to define my end point. I will do it again. I have to define my center point, then radius, then end point. Then the next type is tangent arc, which I will work later. I will activate this 3-point arc from here, or I can activate it from here, 3-point arc. Here I have to define starting and end point first, then I have to define my radius. So this is starting point, then end point, and now I have to define my radius. Now I will work with tangent arc. If you want to work with tangent arc, you must need another sketch entity, as for example any line or any circle or any arc or any rectangle, anything you need to create this. Let's say I have one line here. Now I can create arc based on this line. So first I will activate this tangent arc. I have to select end of this line, and based on this line I can create my arc. The main specialty of this arc is after creating it, I will press escape key to close it. You can see this arc and this line is tangent now. So that is the main important thing to create this tangent arc. If you want to create it, you have to tangent with some sketch entity. Let's say I have a rectangle. Now I want to create a arc which will be tangent with this line. So I will select this point, and this arc will be tangent with this line. But to create the tangent arc, you do not need to active by using this tool. There is another shortcut to do this. I will select this line tool first. Let's say I will create this line, then I can create another line. Before I create another line, I will go back to the last end point, and next to the cursor you can see there is one icon is showing. That means this line temporarily deactivated and arc tool temporarily activated. So if I move my cursor to somewhere else, you can see now I can create the arc which is tangent with this line. And if I move my cursor to this side, it will create the tangent. But you have to keep in mind one thing: when you are moving your cursor to any direction, in which direction you are moving your cursor, that is important. Let's say if I move it to this side, this is still tangent but in opposite side. I will go back to this line again. Now if I move perpendicular with this, you can see this will create tangent but not with this line. This will create a tangent relation with this line which is perpendicular with this line. So if you want to create a tangent arc, you do not need to actually activate from here. This is the shortcut you can use. In this lesson, I will give you an idea about geometric relation. First, I will take a new sketch on front plane. Then I will create a new rectangle. Then I will create a circle at the middle. To make it more precise, I will put few dimensions. You do not need to learn how to put the dimension right now, because I will discuss about this dimension later in another lesson. Now my goal is to put this circle at the middle of this rectangle. In that case, I can put one dimension from side to the center of the circle. Right now this is 150, so I can put 150 divided by 2. Also the same thing from bottom to the center of the circle, 40, and I will put the dimension of the circle. Now you can see this circle exactly at the middle of this rectangle. But when I will change my dimension, let's say if I change from 80 to 150 and 150 to 225, you will see this is not exactly in the center. So that means I am not controlling based on this overall dimension. If I want to control based on overall dimension, I can also do that by using geometric relation. If I use geometric relation on this circle, in that case, I do not need to put this to dimension. This circle will be at the center always. So let's try to do that. First, delete this to dimension. Now I will select this middle point and this point both together. Then I will put a vertical geometric relation. Also the same thing from this horizontal relation. Now I put two geometric relation. All green flag you are seeing here, all are geometric relation. Now I put two geometric relation. Now if I change from 250 to 150 and 150 to 80, you will see this is always at the center. That means I am getting more control on my sketch. This is the main power of geometric relation and dimension. By combining this geometric relation and dimension, you can get ultimate control on your sketch also as well as on your part. If you want to put geometric relation, there are two different ways to put the geometric relation. One is automatic way, another is manually. In this lesson, I will show you how to put geometric relation automatically. Now I have to put a line, so I will select my first point. After selecting this, if I move my cursor to the vertical position, next to the cursor, you can see there is one small yellow flag is showing, which is vertical icon. That means at this stage, if I put my second point, this will put one geometric relation, which is vertical. Let's say I want to make a line in horizontal direction. If I go to this horizontal direction, next to the cursor, you will see one small yellow flag is showing horizontal direction. So that means if I put second point, it will create this line as well as it will create a horizontal geometric relation on this line. And this is that geometric relation. Now question is, why SolidWorks is adding continuously this automatic relation? Answer is very simple. Let's say if I try to create any line, if I create any line in angle, then it will not put any geometric relation. But if I create any line in the horizontal direction, that means SolidWorks assumes that I want to keep this line as a horizontal. So if I try to move it, this is always horizontal. Now I will create line again. This time I will move my cursor to somewhere here. Next to the cursor, it is showing a white flag with vertical geometric relation. This is white color, that means this is working as a reference. After you insert your line, it will not put any geometric relation. This is just as a reference. This is vertical means from this point to this point, these 2 points stays in the same vertical line. That's why this is giving you that reference. Now if I move to somewhere here, now you can see there are two different flags showing. One is yellow, one is white. Yellow means when I will insert this line, it will create geometric relation, which is horizontal geometric relation. But by using white small flag, we can see this point and this point, both points are in the same vertical line. There are many different places where SolidWorks put automatic geometric relation. Let's say if I try to create a corner rectangle, I have to put two corners. Here we can see this is a rectangle, it has few geometric relation. Looks like SolidWorks did some different kind of operation to make this rectangle. Actually answer is no. SolidWorks just made full line and put few geometric relation. If I want to create this rectangle manually, I can do it very easily. So both are same. Now if I try to move it, also both are same. Every time if you try to create a rectangle like this way, it will create so many time. You have to create full line, you have to put geometric relation, which you can accomplish by using this tool. So this is better to use this tool always. This will save you lots of time. That's why SolidWorks put all automatic geometric relation to make this rectangle. There are many different places where SolidWorks put automatic geometric relation. If I create my first line, then if I create a arc, you can see this is putting this tangent relation between this line and arc because I want to put this tangent relation. There are many different ways to put automatic relation. Let's say I have a line. Now if I select this line, then I will activate this line tool again. Now it will take reference from this existing line. Now if I create another line, it is showing few dotted line. This is called inferencing line. By using this inferencing line, you can create your line. This inferencing line is showing based on this line. So this side is parallel with this side is perpendicular with this line. If I want to make a parallel line with this line, I will go on this side, and next to the cursor you can see this is showing parallel geometric relation. After putting this, let's say if I try to move it, I can move both together because it has parallel relation. The same thing I can do when I will create multi-segment of line. Let's say if I create one line, now if I try to create second line, first line is automatically selected. Based on first line, it is showing me the inferencing line. If I create another line on this direction next to the cursor, it is showing collinear relation. You can see this is that collinear relation. There are many geometric relation which you can put automatically, but there are some geometric relation which you cannot put automatically. You must have to put manually, which I will show you in the next lesson. In this lesson, I will show you how to add a geometric relation manually. SolidWorks cannot assume all time that what type of geometric relation you want to put. So in that case, you have to put geometric relation manually. So I will create few line here. And when I am adding here continuously, SolidWorks adding few automatic geometric relation. I will create two more line in the side. So far SolidWorks added few geometric relations. Now I have to add few more geometric relations manually to get ultimate control on this sketch. To apply geometric relations manually, there is one tool is available. Inside this sketch tab, from this drop down menu of display or delete relation, you can use add relation. When I will activate this is asking me to put some entity to put the geometric relation. Let's say I want to make these two circles equal. I will select this circle and this circle. After putting these two, inside this next box, if there is any other geometric relation already there, existing relation, it will show you here, but there is no existing relation. At the bottom, inside this will also give you only the possible geometric relation between these two. Right now we cannot see the horizontal or vertical geometric relation because this is not possible between these two. Now if I select equal, that means I want to make equal these two. Also another thing you can see here, this equal is bold. That means SolidWorks assumes that you want to put equal, but SolidWorks is not sure. So I will select this equal. Now these two are equal. If you want to put more relation between these two, you can also apply this. That's why still this is showing. I will press OK. Now if I increase or decrease diameter of this circle, you can see both are changing both together. I will put few more geometric relation. This time I will not use add relation tool. This time I will use one shortcut which is very easy to use and very easy to remember. I will select this line. I want to make collinear relation between these two lines. So I selected it, then press and hold Ctrl key in your keyboard. Then select this line and move your cursor to somewhere else. Also release your Ctrl key. You can see there is one pop-up toolbar is open. At the top you can see all relations you are seeing here. All are possible relation between these two lines. But the problem is here you cannot see which relation means what. But if I hover over here, I can see it. So in that case, I can use from here. As a new user, this is important to learn which icon means which relation. So in that case, I will recommend you to use from here, not from that pop-up toolbar. So from here, I will use collinear, and this is collinear. Also another relation I want to put at the same time is equal. I am done, so I will press OK. This time I will add one center line. Now I will select these two circles by pressing Ctrl key in my keyboard. Also at the same time I will select this. And here you can see there is only possible relation is make symmetry. Also you can see from here, I will select this, press OK, and if I move one circle, you can see this is always symmetry. I will select midpoint of this line and this origin both together by pressing Ctrl key in my keyboard. Then I will select coincident. After putting few geometric relation manually, you can see you have very good control on your sketch. In this lesson, we will learn how to delete geometric relation from a busy sketch. I am working with this delete relation file which you will find inside this 06 folder. I will go inside this sketch by right clicking anywhere on this sketch entity and go to edit sketch. Let's say you want to delete any geometric relation from here. If I want to delete this symmetry geometric relation, I just have to select it, and when I'm selecting it, you can see this is highlighting these two entities because this symmetry relation applied between these two circles. That's why this two is highlighting, which is another good way to know. Let's say I want to know when I applied this equal geometric relation, this relation applied to between which sketch entities. In that case, I just have to hover over it and it will highlight, which is really very good to understand. So I will select this symmetry geometric relation, then press delete key in my keyboard and it will delete. It's really very easy to delete. I don't want to delete it, so I will press Ctrl Z in my keyboard. Now I will show you another way to delete it. I will go to inside this sketch tab. From here I will work with display or delete relations. If I select it, at the top you can see there is one drop down menu. This is just a filtration. If you want to filter based on any different criteria, in that case you can select it. All in the sketch means I want to see all relation inside this full sketch which is listed here. Let's say I want to see the relation between these two circles. So I will select selected entities. I will select this circle and this circle. Geometry applied between these two circles will listed here. I will clear this section. Now I will select this line and this circle. In this case, it will highlight everything applied on this line and on this circle. So all geometric relation is showing here. Also another nice thing is, let's say if I select symmetry, it will also highlight here. Now let's say I want to delete all of this geometric relation together. In that case, at the bottom there is one option called delete all. It will delete all relation from here. Or if I delete one by one, let's say I want to delete symmetry, select it, delete it, it will delete from here. Or if I want to delete all together, I will press delete all. This is quite powerful. If I go to this drop down menu, from here you can see this is showing external. Let's say your sketch has some external reference. In that case, if I select it, it will show you inside this. If your sketch has some broken relation, in that case if I select it, it will show you only all broken reference inside it. So this is quite powerful to use. Then if your sketch has any missing reference to create the geometric relation, in that case it will list all geometric relations which has missing reference. In this lesson I will show you how to put dimension inside the sketch. Right now I am inside this sketch already. I will create a rectangle, few circle and one center line. Now I will put few dimension here. First I will put dimension for this rectangle. To put the dimension, there is one tool called Smart Dimension tool which is available inside this sketch tab. I will activate it. By using this, you can put any different type of dimension. You can put length dimension, radius or diameter or any different kind of dimension you can put by using just only one dimension tool. If I want to put the dimension for this line, I will select this line and then I can put the dimension. I have to specify my value. Let's say if I put 60 and enter, this is my dimension. I will put dimension between these two lines. So I will select this line first. Then I will select this line. This is another way to put the dimension. Then I will select it. Before I put any value, there are a few different options here is showing. You can see at the top, this is dimension name. If you want to change dimension name, you can do that. This is especially helpful when you want to detect your dimension to use somewhere else. Then I can put some value here, or if I want I can use this wheel also. Also I can use this to increase or decrease. I will put 60 and enter. If I want to put some dimension for this circle, that means I want to put diameter, I will select this circle to put the diameter. If I want to put dimension for an arc, I can also do that. For an arc I have to put radius dimension, but everything I am doing by using the same dimension tool. Let's say if I want to put dimension between this center line and the center point of the circle, in that case I have to select this circle and it will detect from center to this center line. If you want to put dimension from point to point, you can also do that. But here we can see all are black, this is gray. Why this is gray, I will discuss this in another lesson. Now let's say I want to put dimension between center of this circle to the center of this circle. In that case I have to select these two circle 180. If I want to put the dimension from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle, you can also do that. I have to select this dimension, then I will select this point, then I will move to this outside, then I will select it again and it will move this dimension to the outside. But there is one better way to put the dimension. Let's say if I press and hold shift key in my keyboard, then if I select the circle from inner side and also this inner side, now you can see you can put the dimension this way also, so that you do not need to move your dimension point from here to here or here to here. Let's say I want to put the dimension for this line. If I select this line, if I want to put true length, I can do this way. But if I want to put vertical or horizontal dimension for this line, I have to move my cursor to right. You can see this is vertical and this is horizontal. So when I'm moving my mouse, this is changing. If you want to restrict this change, in that case, let's say I am in this position, I want to put true dimension. You have to press right mouse button one time, and next to the cursor you can see there is one lock option that is showing unlock now. So now if I move anywhere, you will see this is locked. If I want to unlock again, I have to press right mouse button again and it will unlock again. At this position I want to lock it. This is quite powerful. You can put dimension between point to point or line to point. Let's say if I want to put dimension from point to line, I can also do that. So any different type of combination is possible by using this smart dimension tool. In this lesson I will show you how to create sketch entity using numeric input. I'm inside the sketch already. I will take a line tool and now I will create a simple line. Before I insert second point, next to the cursor you can see it is showing the exact length of the line and the angle, which is sometimes good. Sometimes you need to know for the first sketch entity what is the approximate length. Let's say you want to create a line with a specific dimension. In that case you have to use numeric input box. So first I will cancel this line. If I right click here at the top, you can see this is showing sketch numeric input. This is unchecked right now. So first I will activate this line tool. Before I insert my first point, right click and from here I can activate this sketch numeric input. Now when I will activate it, inside this option, this add dimension added. So first I will put my first point. Before I put my second point, you can see this is the numeric input box is showing right now. And now if I put 50 and enter, then I do not need to insert second point. This is automatically 50. Just to check this, I will select this line and here you can see this parameter is 50. But sometimes this is helpful, sometimes this may not helpful. This will be more helpful when I will insert my 50 millimeter inside numeric input box At the same time, it will also put the dimension. Then it will be more helpful. So I will create it again. Before I do that, I will select add dimension from here, or right click from here. I can select this option, add dimension. This time I will put 70, enter, and you can see I will create my sketch entity. At the same time, I will create my dimension. If I want to create a rectangle, for rectangle, even if I don't put any dimension, let's say if I put my second corner, then no dimension is added. Now I will create rectangle one more time. This time I will select add dimension. I will put first point and second point. The problem is I did not put any dimension here, but I check this box. That's why these two put the dimension. You can get more control on this. I will go to option, sketch. From here, this is by default checked. I will check this option, create dimension only when value entered, not every time. This time add dimension is checked by default. So first point, second point, but if I insert my second point, this is not showing me the dimension, even this dimension is selected. Reason is I changed my option last time. So when I will insert any value inside the numeric input box, at that time it will put the dimension only. So this is my first point. Before I insert my second point, I will put 50. Before I put enter, I want to press tab to go to another dimension. Then enter. Now it will put 2 dimension. Even if I want, I can put just only 1 dimension. 50, then enter. And for this, I will not put any dimension here. I will just randomly put this point. Here you can see this will put the dimension, but this will not put the dimension. So that's why inside the sketch you can keep checked these two options together. That is the best option. In this lesson, I will show you how to define a sketch fully. Before I do that, let's say if I create a line, this line is blue now. If I select it again, this will be light blue. But if I move this to this point, you will see this is black. So this is changing. Now question is why this is changing? Why this is from blue to black? Well, when this is black, that means this sketch is partially defined. Let's say if I try to move this line, I can move this line, but if I try to move this line top and bottom, I cannot move this. Movement of this line has been already restricted. So let's say if I put a dimension here, 150, you cannot move anything, and at the bottom inside this status bar it is showing fully defined. So that means this sketch is fully defined. This is really very good practice to create a fully defined sketch. Otherwise later if you change anything inside your sketch, it will be harder for you to control, especially for a complex sketch. First delete this line. Now I will create a simple rectangle. I will start from center. Now I will put few dimension to make it fully defined. I will go to smart dimension, 200, and now you can see you can just move top and bottom, not at this side. This is already restricted. That's why this two is black. You cannot move these two side. But you can move these 2 point. This 2 point is still showing blue. And here if I see, this is fully defined. Let's do few more example. Let's say I want to fully define this. Now here we can see we can move this point, not this line, to any side. So in that case I have to put few dimension. I will put from here to here. Before I put this dimension, I want to make this horizontal, so I will select it, make horizontal. I put just horizontal geometric relation. Now I will put dimension on this line 180. Then to this side I have to put the dimension, so I can move this point. So I will put dimension between these two lines 100. After putting this 2 dimension, let's say I don't know where to put the dimension. In that case, best way is move any point or line which is blue. Let's say this line is blue, so if I move it, I can see, oh okay, so I have to put the dimension here or here. Or if I want, I can move this point also. I can see that okay, I have to restrict the motion of this point. So now I will put dimension here, which is 100. Now you can see this point is also black. That means you cannot move this point. Now I can move this. I can put one dimension here, or if I want, I can put some angle here. And then at the bottom we can see this is fully defined. Even if I miss one dimension here, let's say if I delete this dimension, it will show you underdefined. So this is always better practice to make your sketch fully defined. There is one tool to make this sketch fully defined. Let's say I already put few dimension. Now I am facing difficulties to put the dimension. I don't know where to put the dimension to make it fully defined. This is really very simple sketch, so this is very easy to understand. Here I have to put the dimension, but for a very complex sketch, sometimes this is harder to understand. So in that case, you can go to sketch. From here, go to drop down menu of this display delete relations, activate fully defined sketch. From here there are two options. I will select selected entity. From here I will select only blue line or point. So I will select this line and select calculate. It will put one dimension automatically and it will make this full sketch fully defined. So this is how we can also define your sketch, but I will say don't try to do it because sometimes you will find really very tough to find out why they put dimension like this way. Sometimes this is really very hard. Let's say this is my sketch, and if I go to fully defined sketch, all entities, then calculate, then okay. Now you can see the way this is putting the dimension. This is slightly different. Here you can see it already put one equal length relation, which really I don't want. So I'll delete it and I have to make one more relation by myself. So that's why I don't normally use this, but sometime if for your complex sketch you may use for one entity or two entities just to fix them, but not globally for entire sketch. Never use that fully defined sketch. In this lesson I will show you what is over defined sketch. I will go inside this front plane and I will create a simple corner rectangle. For this I will put two dimension, this side 100 and length 200. Now we can see this is fully defined. That means if I delete one dimension, this is underdefined. If I define my sketch with all dimension and geometric relation, then it will be fully defined. What will happen if I put more dimension or more geometric relation? Let's say I will make one more dimension to this side, and this is giving me the warning. This is showing me if I want to put this dimension is conflicting with another dimension which is showing here. That's why this is over defined. So do you want to make this dimension driven, or you want to leave this dimension as a driving? If I put driven and press OK, and this is showing gray color, that means there is no effect if I change this dimension. Let's say if I change this 100 to 150, this overall dimension will change, but this is just a representation, just a reference. I cannot change it. I cannot do anything with this. This is just a driven dimension. But if I select it and if I uncheck this driven and press OK, now we can see this is yellow. Yellow means item conflicts and red means item is unsolvable. Right now this is yellow. So this is over defined. At the bottom we can see this is over defined. So I will click on this over defined, and here this sketch expert will open. I can fix it manually or I can run diagnose, and it will give me few possible solution from 1 to 6. For 1, this is showing me if I remove this then it will be fine, which I don't want. I will go to next. Then this is asking me to remove this. Then finally this is asking me to remove this. Then it will be fine. I will accept this. And this is showing this is case now find a valid solution. So I'll press OK, and you can see this is fine. So that's why sometime you will find this is over defined. You have to solve this by using diagnose, or you can solve it manually. If your case is really very simple, you can also solve it manually. Now I will show you where you will find red, which is item is unsolvable. Let's say I will create one line, then one line more here, and this is horizontal and vertical relation. That means you cannot make this line horizontal or this line vertical. At this situation, if I select these two lines together by pressing Ctrl key in my keyboard, then if I put make parallel, you will see this is showing me item is unsolvable. This is red. You cannot fix this because this is completely wrong. So if I go to over defined diagnose, this is showing me that I have to delete it or I have to delete it. I want to delete this parallel relation and accept it, and this will solve it. There is another kind of error you will find. I will draw a rectangle. At the middle I will put a center line. Now I will select the center line and I will make this line as a horizontal. Now this result is quite different. Here you can see this is showing invalid solution found. If I select it, I have to go to diagnose. This two line is showing item is unsolvable. The middle line is showing item conflicts. So here item is solvable means you cannot solve this. You must have to delete any relation or dimension or any case entity to fix this. I can use diagnose, but this time I will use manual repair. Right now this is showing this is that one conflicting one. If I want, I can delete it and it will solve your problem. In this lesson I will show you how to create fillet inside the sketch. I will go to edit sketch. Now I will activate that fillet from this sketch tab from here, or if I press S key in my keyboard, I can activate from here also. First I have to select any entity to fillet. I can select any vertex or any two line. If I hover on this point, it will show me this is the preview. So I will select this point and this is the preview. After I make the fillet, this will be added. Then if I want to add fillet in multi-corner, in that case I can also add this corner, but this time I will not select this vertex. I will select this two line and it will create fillet for me. Then I can adjust size. I will put 5. Then I will press OK, and these are the fillet. Now we are controlling fillet by using one radius, and this is adding one equal radius. This sketch fillet tool is still active. If I want, I can add more fillet. Let's say if I want to add fillet on this corner, I can do that also. When I'm done, I can press close or OK. I will press Ctrl Z to go back. I will do fillet again. Now I will create fillet on this two corner, but I will check this box dimension each fillet. Then press OK. Now you can see this added 2 dimension for each fillet. So if you want to add multi-dimension, you can also do that. I will press Ctrl Z to go back again. I will active my fillet again. This time I want to fillet on this corner. So if I select this point, this will fillet like this. I don't want to fillet like this. I want to fillet between these two lines. So in this case, I must have to select these two lines to fillet it. Now I will uncheck this. I don't need this. There is one option, keep constant corner. I will uncheck this first, then press OK. Let's see what happened. You can see this will put one radius and this is that fillet, but this line is underdefined now, which really I don't want. So I will go back again. I will select these two lines, but this time I will select keep constant corner. Then press OK. And this is the beauty. This line is still completely fully defined by using this intersection geometric relation. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a chamfer inside the sketch. I will activate the chamfer by pressing S key. Then I will go to this drop down menu. From here I can get it, or from this sketch tab I can activate it. Inside this chamfer option there are two different types, angle distance and distance distance. First I will work with angle distance. For this angle distance I have to put distance and angle. So for distance I will put 10 and for angle I will put 45. Then I have to select a corner. I can select corner by using this point, and this is my result. If you feel this is not right, you can undo this, or if I want I can select line by line. So I will select this line, then this line. This will also create like this. I will undo this. Now I will put 30, enter. Now I will select this line and then this line. Then this is my chamfer. This will count distance from the first line. When I will select first line, it will count 10 from this point to here. This is 10, and angle will start to count from this line, which is 30 degree from this line. But if you want to change it, if you want to make angle this side, in that case you have to change it. I will undo it. In that case I have to select this line because I want to make a angle from this line. So this is my first line, and this 10 will start to count from here to up to here. Then I have to select 10, and this is my angle, this is my distance. Now I will work with second method, which is distance distance. For this distance distance I have to put two different distance. So I will put 10 and 20. If I select 1, it will start to count from here to 10. So this is my first line. For second line I will select this, and you can see from here this is 10, from here this is 20. I will undo this again. Let's say you want to make a distance but you want to make this equal. So I will select it equal. I have to put just only one dimension. I can select point or line by line. I will select point because I want to put equal distance, so it does not matter which line you are selecting first. So I will select point, and this is 10 10. In this lesson I will show you how to create a polygon. To create the polygon I have to use this tool from this sketch tab. First I will go inside this sketch. I will take this polygon. Before I create the polygon, this is important to define how many side you want to create. Right now this is 6. If I want I can create 3, 4, 5. I will create 6. I have to define my center. Then I will go away. I have to define the end point, and this is my polygon. It has 6 sides. You can create polygon with two different options: inscribed circle, circumscribed circle. This is inscribed and this is circumscribed. I will create another polygon but by using this circumscribed to show you the main difference. I will make these two circles equal and put few geometric relation. Now here is the main difference. These two circle is same, but these two polygon is different. This is different because this is inscribed, means this will count circle diameter from S to center. That means this will count from S to S. But for this will count from vertex to vertex. That is the main difference between inscribed and circumscribed. By using polygon, if I want, I can create 3 sides. All sides is same. In this lesson, I will show you how to create a ellipse. To create the ellipse, I have to go to inside this sketch tab. From here, I can activate it. I am already inside this sketch, so I do not need to define my sketch. Now I have to define my center of the ellipse. Let's say I will define my center here. Then to establish the ellipse, I have to define major axis, then minor axis. For circle, I always have to define one diameter or one radius. For ellipse, I have to define one major axis and minor axis. So I have to specify 2 points. So this is major axis and this is minor axis and this is my ellipse. Now I will fully define this ellipse. So I will make a relation, coincident relation between these 2 points, and if I try to move it by using this, you can see I can rotate it. To prevent the rotation, I will select these 2 points and I can make a horizontal relation, or I can make a center line between these 2 points. Then I will select this line and make a horizontal geometric relation. Now I can move only this side or this side, but I lock the rotation. I cannot rotate this. Now I will put few dimension here. Between these 2 points, I will put 150, and between these 2 points, I will put 70. And this ellipse is completely fully defined. If you want to create a partial ellipse, you can create that from here. You just have to modify it. Let's say I want to create a partial ellipse. So I will put 30 degree. Now I don't need this extra sketch segment between these 2 center line. So I want to delete it. I can trim it. So this is how you can create your partial ellipse, but there is one more better way to create the partial ellipse. So I will delete everything here. Now I will go to this drop down menu. From here I will select partial ellipse. For this partial ellipse, procedure almost same like ellipse. I will select center. Then I will define major axis. Then I will define minor axis. When I will define minor axis, I have to keep in mind from which point I am starting. That will be starting point of my ellipse. So let's say I will define somewhere here, and you can see this will start from here, but later I can change it, that's fine. I will create like this, and this is my ellipse, which is partial. Now how do you make it fully defined? First I have to lock the rotation. Then I will put dimension between these 2 points 100, and between these 2 points 240. But still we can see we can move this point because this 2 point is still showing blue color. That means this is not fully defined. From here you can also see that. So I have to put few more dimension. I will put dimension between these 2 55, but still this is not fully defined. In that case I have to put one more dimension. In this lesson I will show you how to trim sketch entities. To activate these trim entities, I have to go to inside this sketch tab. From here I can get this tool, or I will press S key in my keyboard, and also I can activate it from here. I will activate it. There are total 5 different type of trim you can do, but 90% time you have to work with this power trim. But before I apply this trim, I will show you why do you need this trim. Let's say I created this circle, I want to keep this half circle, not full circle. In that case I can use this trim, but there is another way to accomplish this. I will select it, make it construction geometry, then make 3-point arc and make relation between these 2 co-radial. And now you can see you can accomplish by this way. But there are lots of extra steps involved. So in that case I can use trim. I will go back by using Ctrl Z. Now I will activate these trim entities. From here I will select power trim. For this power trim, you do not need to just only select entity. You can just press and hold your left mouse button somewhere in the blank area. Then when you will move to anywhere, anything will fall under this line will be deleted. If I do it here, I can also select it. You can see this will also trim, but power trim is better for dragging. Even though this is saying trim, sometime it can work as say extend. If I select this line, nothing to trim with this. But if I move more up to this line, you can see this is actually extended up to this line. The next type is corner type. To make the corner, let's say this two line is short. If I select this line and this line, it will create the corner between these two lines. If two line is overlapping with each other, I can also the same option corner. I have to select this two line and it will create the corner. The next type is trim away inside. This will work sometime where you have to define your boundary. I will select it. So I have to first define two boundary. I will select these two boundary, and inside this boundary I want to trim everything. I will right click and select lasso selection. Now I will select all entity from here, and everything is gone which is inside this boundary. The same thing I can do for trim away outside. I will select this option, Ctrl Z to go back. I will do same thing again. So I will select these two as a boundary. Then I will select all of this entity, but this time you can see everything outside this boundary is gone. There is another type is available, trim to closest. Let's say if I select it, this is gone because this will catch the closest point where it can trim. If I select this line, it will trim between these 2 points. But there are some places where you do not need to trim. I will show you one example. I will press Ctrl Z to go back. I will delete this case. I don't need this. Here, let's say I want to trim these 3 extra line from inside. So I will select trim, then power trim, then I will delete this. And here you can see this is underdefined now, but before it was fully defined. For this kind of situation, you do not need to trim it. There is one better way to solve this problem. Ctrl Z to go back. In this case, I will make this line as a construction geometry, also this 2 line as a construction geometry. There is some extra step involved for sure, but at least you do not need to apply geometric constants or dimension again. So here now I will add few more geometry here. I have to make a relation between this point and this circle, coincident, and finally I have to create 3-point arc. So this is how you can also make without trimming. This method quite powerful when you will work with very busy and complex sketches, but inside most of the simple sketches you can just trim it. In this lesson I will show you how to create curve by using Convert Entities tool. This is a 3D part and I want to make some projected curve on this plane based on this part. So I will create one sketch on this plane, right click and select sketch. Now I am inside this sketch. I will go inside this sketch tab. From here I can activate this Convert Entities tool. I will activate this. At the top I have to select any entity which I want to convert this and put it inside this sketch. I will select this 2 line. This 2 line is selected, then I will press OK. And you can see this is showing this is converted from here to here. Now you can work with it. I will press Ctrl Z to go back because I want to convert it again, but this time I will not select any edge. I will select just full surface. Then I will press OK. And this will convert all outer edge from this surface. Let's say I want to bring all of this whole together. You can also do that. If I select Convert Entities, I have to select Face. This time at the bottom there is one option called Select All Inner Loop. Or if I select this inner loops one by one, I can select it manually. but I will select all in a loop together. Here you can see 3 loop has been selected, which is this 3 loop, and I don't need to select this face. I will right click and delete. I already converted this face. I will press OK, and you can see there are 3 holes here. Now what is the benefit you will get if you use this? Let's close this sketch. Now I will go inside this sketch. I will move this to hold this to here, this hole here, and this hole I will move somewhere here. Also I will change from 400 to 500. I change 3 hole location and overall height. Then I will close this sketch, and automatically it will update this sketch also, because I converted this from this existing part. That is the main power of this convert entities. Let's say I created it, but I don't want to control this from this part. Maybe I don't want control from this after making this shape. In that case, you have to select this on edge relation and delete it. This is how you can get more control. Now this is no longer controlled by this part. You can move this to anywhere. In this lesson, I will show you how to create offset entities. To create the offset entities, you have to work with this tool. I will go inside this sketch. Now I will activate this offset entities tool from this sketch tab from here. After I activate it, how much offset I want, I have to define that value. This is 10. I will put 5. Then there are lots of options available. Only 2 are selected. First option is add dimension. When I will create any offset, it will create dimension automatically. So later if I want to change the offset dimension, I can change it. So definitely I want to put this. Another option selected is select chain. If I select one line, it will select this full chain. So if I select this line, it will select whole lines. Sometime I want this. This is the preview is showing. I will make it 10. Now here is another option, cap end. If I want to add cap at the end, I can do that in both sides. This is arc. If I want, I can put straight cap, which is lines. I can also do that. If you want, you can also put offset bidirectional. If I select bidirectional, then it will create offset in both direction, and both value will be 10 and 10. Then also I can add the cap also for this straight or arc. This is the preview. Let's say I will create this offset, and this is the result. I can control individually these two offset distance. Let's say this side I can change to 5, and this side I can keep 10. I will press Ctrl Z to go back again. Now I will select offset again. This time I will not select chain. I will uncheck this. I want to offset only this line, not full chain. I will select it, and you can see it will offset only this line. Maybe I can add both two together. Now there is 2 more options here. Construction geometry. If I select this baseline and press OK, you will see it will convert that baseline as a construction geometry. I will press Ctrl Z to go back. Now I will do the same thing again. I want to make a offset for these 2 lines, but this time I will not use this base geometry. I will use this offset geometry. So I want to make this offset geometry as a construction line. So I will select it, then press OK, and this will make a offset curve. At the same time, it will make this geometry as a construction line. I will show you one practical example. Let's say you want to make an offset from this circle. I will create a new sketch on this plane. Now I will select offset entities. I will select this line from this part, and you can see you can create the offset. I don't need bidirectional. I don't want to make it offset geometry. So now I want to make it inside. I just selected the inside direction, and this is created that offset geometry. If I see from front side, this is more better to understand. Later if you want to change it, you can change it. Now if I change my hole size, let's say if I go to edit and change my hole size, if I make it more bigger and press close, this will always stay this 5 mm gap between these two. In this lesson, I will show you how to mirror your sketch entities. I will go inside this sketch to edit it. I want to mirror all of this entity to right side of the center line. I will activate that mirror entities tool from this sketch tab. From here, mirror entities. This is very straightforward and simple tool to use. You just have to select entities, which entity you want to mirror, and you have to select mirror about. First, I will select entities. I can use box selection, right to left. It selected everything. Now I will select mirror about. Here I will select this center line. And this is the preview. I will press OK. Now if I change anything from left side, it will change exactly the same to the right side. Even if I change to the right side, it will change exactly same thing to the left side. In the next few lessons, I will discuss about sketching technique, which is really very important as a beginner user. I will show you two different files. I will go to window. From here, we can see there are two files open inside the SolidWorks. So I will select tile vertically to see side by side. I will make this too narrow. Here we can see this part and this part looks almost similar, but maybe dimension is not same. But overall structure looks same. Let's see inside this file. If I select this file, this is S2 and this file is S1. You can also see from here. So inside this S2 file, if I go to inside this feature, I will see there is one sketch we used to create this. I can roll back it. I will roll back it to see what is inside it. Now here we can see this has been created by using one sketch. Then another feature added. That feature has been created by using second sketch. This is sketch 1, this is 2. Then another feature added, which is created by using sketch 3, and last one is created by using sketch 4. So here we used 4 sketches to create this full part. Now I will make almost same part, but I will use different technique. If I expand all of this feature from this feature manager design tree, here you can see we used sketch 1, 1, 1, 1. That means I used just only sketch 1. Even though I used 4 different features, but I used same sketch. Now what is the benefit you will get if you use same sketch? Let's say if I try to change this, I have to right click here. From here I can edit it, or I can select it and this is the feature. I have to go inside this feature, then I can edit it. Also, if I want to edit this feature, I have to go inside this sketch and I can edit it. Now, if I want to edit this, I don't need to think about inside which sketch I have to go, because I used just only one sketch. So here I use just only one sketch. I can select any one of them, and if I go inside this sketch, you will see all profile inside one sketch. So this feature is this feature, this is this feature, also this 2 circle is this 2 feature. So I can control everything from here. Let's say if I want to control this, then also this, also I want to move this, everything I can control from one location. So this is the main power if you use the same sketch again and again. So try to use this technique. If you have to create a multi-profile, use one sketch and create all multi-profile inside one sketch. The next technique is always try to create a sketch from origin. If I go to inside this sketch, we can see this is sketch at the center because this is symmetry part. That's why for symmetry kind of part, always try to put sketch center at the origin, which is this origin. But if I go inside this part, this is the origin and this is sketch center. This is right, but this is not best practice. Why this is not best practice? I will give you a simple example. Let's say if I expand it, let's say I have this kind of file. I will go to edit and I'll move this to somewhere here. Now I want to mirror this to this side. In that case, I can select this feature. You do not need to learn at this stage how to work with this 3D environment. I will discuss everything when I will work inside part environment. From here I will select mirror, I will select mirror face. As a mirror face I can select right plane. I can select right plane because this full body center at the origin. That's why I can use this right planes. Then I will select this feature, or I can select this face probably. Then I will press OK. This kind of advantage you will get if you use sketch center at the origin. But if I go to this file, you cannot use this, because here you can see that origin is far away from this sketch center. So if I select this right plane, you will see this right plane here. This is not at the middle. Also this front also not at the middle. If I say from top, this is front at the middle, this is right at the middle. In this lesson I will give you 3 more sketching technique. When you will make a new sketch, you have to keep in mind that sketch profile has to be the part overall shape. It does not need to be very accurate, but if you make an approximate shape of that overall part, then that's fine. Let's say if I make a hole here, I will use extrude. Then I will create one more sketch with this extrude. Now here if I ask you which one is the overall shape of the part, definitely your answer is this rectangle is the overall shape of the part. But I designed it this circle first, which is wrong. Now another tips I will give you: when you will create a new sketch, always try to make it simple. So I will create a new part. I will show you how to keep a sketch simple. Let's say if I create a brand new sketch. First, this is very important to make the overall shape of your part. Try to make it approximate size. Let's say I want to keep these two equal. In that case, I can leave somewhere like this. Then I want to add 2 hole. So first create the overall shape of your part. This is very important before you put any geometric relation or any dimension. So first make the overall shape. So I did that. Now next thing is try to put geometric relation as much as possible. More geometric relation you will put, less number of dimension you have to insert. So now I will put few geometric relation. I will make these two horizontal because I want to keep these 2 circles centered at the horizontal position. Then I will select these two. These two has to be equal. Then I will create a center line because I want to make this 2 point and this line symmetry. So based on this center line, I want to make this point symmetry. Then I will select these 2 line. I want to make these 2 collinear. Also I will select these 2 line. I want to make these 2 line equal. Also I want to make this point at the center of this point. So I will right click here. I will select midpoint and press Ctrl key in your keyboard. Then select this point and make vertical. Now I will put few dimension. 35, 45. I have to give dimension for this. 40. This is almost black. I will put height of this, which is 100. Then I will add vertical distance from bottom to center of this circle, which is 65. I have to give this circle diameter, which is 20. Now you can see still we can see this 2 line is under defined. Now I will select this point and this center line and make symmetry. And you can see everything is fully defined with minimum number of dimension. So first rule is try to make the overall shape, then create geometric relation as much as possible, then add dimension at last, and after putting all dimension, if you need to put few other geometric relation, put that. Here let's say this height you want to keep as this length. In that case I will delete it and I will add one center line. Now I will select these two and press equal. Now by using this technique I just reduced one dimension. Less dimension you will apply, more control you will get inside your sketch. Also this will maintain your design intent. In this lesson I will discuss about few other sketching technique. Inside this I will show you when you will add dimension what is the best practice you can follow, also how can utilize same dimension in few different places, also how can utilize your mirror tool inside the sketch. So I will create a new sketch. Inside this sketch I will add 3 dimension. I added this 3 dimension. Now let's say you want to change the overall width of this part. In that case you have to add some value. Let's say I want to make overall length 120. In that case I don't know should I add here or here or here, where I want to add it. If I add it here from 25 plus 20, then this is fine, it will add here. This is spacing and overall length is 120 now. Let's say if I try to put any dimension, you will see this is 120. But this way is really very complicated. This is important to delete any one of these dimension. Let's say if I delete this dimension and if I add value this way, this is more easier. You do not need to calculate it what is the actual length of this. So in that case if I change from 120 to 100, it's really very easy. Then you can change this area separately. So when you will add any dimension, always try to put some overall dimension first, then add all other dimension. Then when you will add the dimension, there is one more thing you have to keep in mind. Let's say if I delete this 30, I can add dimension between these two. Or if I want, I can same thing I can do. I can put this 30 and 25, or I can put this and this. Which one is better? You have to think about it. How do you want to change your design? Let's say if I put these 2 dimension, that means if I change from 55 to 65, here you can see this distance always same. But maybe I don't want to change this way. I will delete 25. I will add dimension here 40. So if I change from 65 to 55, this will always stay 40. So you have to think which dimension you want to control and which dimension you don't want to control. You have to think about it before you put the dimension. Now I will show you another example where you can use same dimension. I will create this rectangle, then I will add for construction. I want to use this for construction. Then this side, this should be 100 and this side 70. Now I will add one more rectangle by using this corner rectangle tool. This time I will add dimension here, which is, let's say, 10. The left hand side, if I want to put the same distance, I can put 10, but I don't need to put this way. I can use equation. If I want to use same dimension this side, I can do that. I will select it, delete it. I will create new dimension again. This time I will not press OK. First I have to press equal relation in my keyboard. Then I have to select this dimension. then it is showing this dimension name here, then I will press OK. Now you can see in front of this dimension it is showing one symbol which is equation symbol. If I change this dimension from 10 to 5, both side is updating automatically. So if you face this kind of situation, always try to use same dimension few different places. This will give you more control on your sketch. Then I will give you another example. Let's say I will create a simple sketch, and after making this sketch, maybe I am thinking I have to make exact same sketch on the left hand side. Before I do that, I will put few dimension, 60, 50, and this should be 20. After putting this, let's say I want to do the same thing left hand side. In that case, don't need to create this again. Use mirror tool to do this. I will select all entity from here. Then I will select mirror about. I want to mirror based on this line, and this is the preview. Then I will press OK. So you can reduce your work by using this mirror tool. Also, you will get more control, because if I change from 60 to 40, left side sketch entity will also update. In this full chapter, we will do few exercise on sketch together. You will find few picture inside this exercise file. Then inside this 10, there are total 6 JPEG file. I will work with E01 first. This is that image file. Inside this there is one very simple sketch here. We will create this sketch together, but before you start to watch this video, try by yourself, then watch this video. First you have to look at the sketch shape. If this sketch shape is symmetry, then you have to put center of this sketch at the origin point. And if this is not symmetry, then it does not matter where you are attaching that origin with this sketch. So first I will create these two lines here, and this is not symmetry type sketch, this is asymmetry type sketch. So I will take a line and I will start from this point. Always you have to start from origin, because this is 3D space. All of your sketch entities will float inside this 3D space. You have to lock down, so you need at least first reference. So this point will be my first reference. I will select this point. Now I will create my second line, and I will go to inside this sketch again. I will make this few line all together. Sketch is done. Now I have to put few geometric relation, also few dimension to fully define this sketch. This two line already black, because if I select it, you will see it has one coincidence and it has one horizontal geometric relation automatically added. So if I try to move my line, I cannot move it. I can move this point. So here this is 100, this is 60, this is 50, 40. So let's put all dimension here. Here this is 50. I can select line or 2 point. So far I added 4 dimension. Now I have to lock this, and here we can see everything is black. Only this line is not black, as well as this point. So if I move it, I can move this point as well as I can move this line. So I can put dimension for this line, or I can put this angle, because if I move it, I can see this angle is changing as well as this line is changing. So if I go here, we will see 135 degree. So I will put that dimension. 135. Now all sketch entities are black, that means this is fully defined. It is not showing any geometric relations because if I go to this drop down menu, this is unchecked. So I'll check it. Now we can see all geometric relation here. One thing you have to keep in mind, for any asymmetry type sketch shape, this origin you can put anywhere. So this is here, I will select it and delete it. Maybe you can put this point with this. That is also okay. You can add any point from this sketch with this origin. In this lesson, we will do exercise 2, which is this sketch. We will create together this sketch. This is also very simple sketch, but this time this is symmetry type sketch. So good practice is to keep your sketch center at the origin. First I will take a sketch on this front plane. Now I will create a rectangle with front midpoints. I will start from center. Right side of the mouse you can see this is showing coincident. That means it will create coincident geometric relation on that point. Now I will put few dimension. This dimension is 200 and this is 150. And here this sketch center at the origin because this sketch shape symmetry. So here this is my sketch. This should be 125. So I will change this to 125. Then I have to create these two circles. Both circles are equal and also equal distance from the center. So this is 45, this is 50. So let's make two circles. Now I have to create relation between this line or point. So I will select it. Also press and hold Ctrl key in your keyboard. Then press this. I can make a coincident mate, or quickest way is move it to here and it will create the relation for you. Also if you want, the most quickest way is create the circle on this line. This will create coincident geometric relation automatically. I'm done, so I will press select. Now I will select these two and make equal, then put dimension 50. Now from here to this center this will be 45. I will deactivate this smart dimension tool. Now both circles will stay at the same distance from the center. So I can put one more dimension here, which is 45, but this is not the best way. I will delete it. I will select this point, press and hold your Ctrl key in your keyboard, then this point, also this line, all three together. Then release Ctrl key, and here you can see this is showing make symmetry, which is also showing from here. So if I apply this geometric relation make symmetry, you will see this is also black. So if I change from 45 to 60, if this dimension change, then exactly same dimension will be from this center to this center line. So another important thing you have to keep in mind, when it is possible, put geometric relation to reduce the number of dimension. That way you can get more ultimate control on your sketch. I'm changing this to 45 because inside the sketch this says this is 45. In this lesson we will do exercise 3, which is this exercise. We will create together this sketch inside the SolidWorks. Before we start this sketch inside the SolidWorks, let's try to find out how to start this. Now first of all, this parts looks like this is a symmetry part. That means we can put center of the sketch at this origin. Then we have to create two circle here, also two circle at the other side. These two dimension mentioned here, both diameter are same on this side also, because you can see from here this is equal relation 13 and 13, 3 and 3. So both diameter are same. Then here we can see this is one arc and this dimension is 150. This has tangent relation with these two. Also it has tangent relation with these two. Then these both arcs are equal, which is equal 12 and 12. So let's start it. Inside the front plane, I have to keep sketch center at origin. So I will create a midpoint line first. Then I will start from midpoint, but I will make this as a construction line. Why I am making this line? Because if we see this line we can start from the center, and in both direction this is same, which is 120. So we'll start from center with construction. Then I will make a straight line, and here I have to put dimension, which is 120. Then I will make two circles. On the other side I will create two more circles. I will press escape key to deactivate circle tool. Now I will select these two circles and make equal relation. Also select these two and make equal relation. I have to put dimension for this circle. First one is 45, second one is 20. Now I will create this top arc, then I will create this bottom arc. To create it, I will activate this 3-point arc. I will select anywhere on this circle. Also I will select anywhere on this circle. Then I will make somewhere here. I will press OK. Now I will select these two and make a tangent relation, or I can do box selection also. This is one kind of shortcut. I will select right to left. This will select these two. Also the same option is showing, make tangent. I will do the same for this. You have to make sure there is no other entity selected. Let's say I am trying to select from here. You can see this is also selecting this. In that case it will not show you that tangent, so you have to be careful about that. I will put tangent relation. Now I have to put radius, which is 150. So one side is done. I will create arc in another side. I will follow same step. If you drag and select this way, this is more quickest way, and I can move this. There is no dimension here. This is equal. So I will select these two and then make it equal. Now this is fully defined. At the bottom you can see this is fully defined. In this lesson we will do exercise number 4, which is this file. At the beginning this looks really very complicated for you, but this is not that much complicated. This sketch has very custom shape. So in that case, for this kind of sketch you have to create the outer shape first, then step by step put the dimension. But one thing you have to keep in mind here, this sketch looks little bit complicated, but there are very few dimensions here. That means there are lots of geometric relation has been applied to control this sketch. So let's start this first. First I will make the overall shape first. I must have to attach any sketch entity with this origin to fix this sketch inside this 3D environment. I will take a line. I will start from this point. So this is my overall shape. Now I have to apply geometric relation and dimension step by step to fix this. Here this line has to be horizontal. Here this dimension is 15 and this is the same dimension applied with this. If you see this icon in front of this, that means this is equation and this dimension has been controlled by this dimension. Also it has parallel relation with this. Also if you see here, this is collinear relation between these two lines, which is this dotted line shows here. Here also this is equal relation between this line and this line. So let's do first all of this. I will select this and this. I have to make it parallel, but already this is parallel. I will put dimension between these two, 15. Then I will select this line. Now I can put 15, but how to link one dimension with another, which I will show you here. Press equal sign in your keyboard, then select this dimension, then press OK. Now this dimension is controlling this dimension. I will make collinear relation between these two lines. Also as well as I will put these two equal. Now I will put few dimension here. This is 35, 45 degree angle and 150 from outside to outside. Then I will put this 50, which is very important dimension here. And this shape gets little bit different. So I will move this line to top. Now here is the tricky part. If I move it top and bottom, you can see I have to put dimension from here to here, or I have to put dimension from this line to bottom or this line. But if we see here, there is no dimension, there is no vertical dimension, only dimension is this, which is controlling this circle position. Actually this is controlling by using this geometric relation, which is vertical. So between these 2 points, this is vertical, which I will apply. I will select these 2 points and make it vertical. Now you can see this is fully defined. Now right corner, you can see this is one chamfer 10 by 10. I will activate this chamfer, select this point, make sure this is 10, and this is the result. At last we have to add circle. First I will define circle position from bottom to center 70, and from this side to center 120 and diameter 25. We completed this sketch and this is fully defined. All are black, and also we reduced some dimension by putting geometric relation. As for example this, if we don't put this, we have to put some dimensions to replace with this. Another thing, if you work with this kind of custom shape, try to make the shape first, then one by one add the dimension. Here you can see we are seeing lots of geometric relation. If you want, you can hide this. Now this looks lots cleaner. In this lesson, we will work with exercise number 5. This is that sketch we have to draw. At the beginning, this looks very complicated, but this is not that much complicated. I will show you one of the effective way to make this sketch. If I go to exercise number 3, here you can see this has 2 holes, but this is symmetry, it has only 2 positions. But if I go to this exercise, it has 2 holes and it has 3 positions. All holes are same equal, there is no other dimension specified. And if you see from here, 8, 8, 9, 9, so all are same. But problem is this is not symmetry, so this is tough to say from which point you will start. You can make this point as a origin, sketch origin, or if you want you can make this point as a sketch origin also, you can use this point. These 3 points are best option, but here the main origin is here. So first I will start this. I will start from this point. I will make this point as a origin. So first I will draw all circle inside it, which is 30 and 15. I will take a sketch in front plane. I created these two circles. I will select these two. Control C. I will just copy this. Then I want to paste here. I will select it here. Control V. One more time here. Control V. So this is how you can also quickly can copy this. Now I have to put location for this. For this 2 point. This is 90. This is 100 and 25, 50. So let's put all location. So I put all location here. All are still showing blue. So I have to put the relation. I will select all 3 circle and put equal. Also I will select all 3 and put equal. The next step is I will create these 3 arc here. For this is 15 and it has tangent relation. The same thing here. But these 2 arc are same. It has 100 radius. So first let's create these 2. I will pick any 2 point from that circle. Now quickly put all tangent relation. Now I have to put dimension for this arc, which is 100. I can put for this 100 and for this is 15. I have to make these 2 equal. Now I have to make this shape. If you see carefully, this is offset from this, which is 5 from all side. So I will make a offset curve which is 5. I will press OK. Before I do that, I have to make it 5. Make sure this is 5. Then press OK. I will do it one more time. This is outside. I will reverse it. Also I did not put last time for this. Now I will put OK. Now I have to trim it. So I will activate my trim tool. I have to trim everything very carefully. Trim is done, so I will press OK. Now one last operation I have to operate, which is radius. I have to put radius 3 mm on every corner. I will activate my radius and it is 3. Then I will select all corner. Then I will press OK. So far this is done. This looks a little bit complicated, but it's not that much complicated. If I turn on geometric relation, you will see there are so many geometric relations, so this is better to turn off this. In this lesson, I will work with exercise number 6. I will work with this. This sketch looks like this is symmetry sketch. So I will start from center. I will take a front plane, and here I can start with a rectangle which is 200 by 110, and also this radius, arc radius is 180, and both are same. So I will focus on right hand side. I want to make everything on right hand side, then I will just make it mirror. So take a rectangle first with 200 by 110. Then make a arc which is 180, and from here we can see these two lines are reference line, so I will change these two lines as a reference line. Now I will create this circle, both circles are same, which is 25 mm dia. Also this radius is 25, and from center this line has distance 65. So let's try that. I will take two circle on two corner. Now I will select this circle and line, make a tangent, also tangent with this. Same thing I will do for this circle. And put dimension for this 25. This is fully defined. I will select this and make it equal. Now I will create a line also on this direction, in this direction. I have to make this line horizontal, and you have to make sure I started from this point, which is quadrant point, and that point is selectable. If I select this line, if I hover over here, you can select quadrant line. This distance is 65. Then radius of these two corner is 25, and press OK. So if I go back to the image, you will see this side is done. Now I will create this. For this outermost circle, I have to make it tangent. I do not need to put any diameter for this. So if I select it, you will see this will create a tangent relation with this line, and this is automatically fully defined. Now I will create these small circles. One is 7, another is 15. First put few dimension, 15, and this one is 7. Then I have to put tangent relation with this line. Same thing I will do for this bottom. I can select this, and if I select this point, it will also do the same. I don't need to make tangent relation manually. And I will select these two, make it equal, select these two, make it equal. Now next step is to create this line. I will create tangent line with this, same thing with this, and distance from center to here 35. Then I have to put radius 25. So I will select somewhere here and here. Also select here. This is already tangent. I will select this point. Now I will put dimension from center to this point is 35. Finally, I have to put the radius, which is 25. One side is done. Now I will just make a mirror. I will mirror this. Not all, I have to select which one I want to mirror. Then I want to mirror all of this line. And mirror about, I will select this line, and you can see this is the preview. It will show, and to make sure I pick all necessary sketch entity from right side. Then I will press OK, and this is that sketch. Inside the sketch, always try to remember, when you will create any sketch, try to make it fully defined. This is highly recommended to make your sketch fully defined. Otherwise, when you will change your sketch or your part later, it will be very tough for you to control.